streaming? Are we live? Is the question.
I will
Think
say it
we
did
are.
sound and look better in
Think
the
we are.
in the video.
All
Yeah.
right, here we go. We are live,
In
and the
Vivo.
and the season is over. Welcome to the show, the Fly Degenerates football show, where we will get into all of the happenings with the end of the season, the fired coaches, the hired coaches. Well, I guess no coaches have been hired yet, but the fired coaches, the teams that are rebuilding, the teams that are tanking, the teams in the playoffs. And we will make our playoff picks. We will recap the regular season. And but before we get started, Flex, Word Life, how are you gentlemen feeling? How's the year gotten started for you? It's 2026. We're 8 days in.
Yep. Feeling good, baby.
I'm,
Feeling good.
I'm feeling great. I learned how to install a garage door opener a
Nice.
couple days ago.
Yeah,
So
you are something
that's
else,
always
man.
good.
First
Yeah,
it's
you are.
bidets,
Yeah.
now it's garage door openers. You're fucking Tim the Tool Man. Taylor.
World,
it.
the world is his oyster, bruh. Amazing.
Excellent. All right, so picks.
Let's go.
We decided. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Regular season is now the line, and we're starting a new competition. We're gonna keep the playoffs separate. Is that where we're at?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And for the playoff, so I'll do a full recap of all the regular season picks. For the playoffs, we're gonna do the flex system, right? We're gonna do, what was it? You said 6 points, and then you can pick the same 6 point pick, right? If I'm following correctly.
I don't know. I thought we killed that one. I thought we
Well,
were just
no,
gonna do this.
I was down with the idea. I was just trying to understand it, and I just was saying if we're gonna inflate the points that much, are we still gonna keep it part of the regular season? That was all I was saying. If we're gonna keep the regular season separate, then we could do whatever for the playoffs. It could be 100 points. I don't care. And I look back, and there was only for the last 3 years, the only time that the standings changed throughout the playoffs was last year. Every other time it didn't. We did the playoff picks, but it didn't. It never changed the standings except for last year. So
That's what I thought. I don't know. But my brain isn't as good as it used to be. So
well, no, the disagreeer was the only time that regular season
He's back, I heard.
did not play out into the end of the season.
yeah, no, that's why it clouded. It must have clouded my mind. Maybe it was just like the mask.
Okay, so I'll do a recap of our regular season picks, and then we'll nail down officially how we're gonna do playoff picks. So, completing the season came down to the wire. I did a full accounting just because I wanted to make sure, because it was so close. I wanted to make sure that I didn't get anything wrong, which I did. I got a couple things wrong. I had to go back and fix some points totals. I don't know.
Really?
I mean, obviously, y'all don't even really care. Y'all don't be keeping track. Y'all don't be watching. I could totally cheat this whole thing. Y'all lucky I'm a real nigga out here.
I definitely know how many points I have every week. That's what I knew.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be so.
Well, I had on the display. I had put a certain number of points for each of us because I had been tallying them up as the weeks went along, or at least I thought I was. But there was a couple of points that I fucked up and missed, which is another thing that I got to start doing on my own, just separately. Is when I'm usually, I don't have really a system on Sundays. Like sometimes I'll be trying to keep track and punch them into the spreadsheet while it's happening. Sometimes I don't do shit, and then if I get busy on a Sunday, I won't do it until the next week, and I just follow up and update it. But I got to do it consistently one way or another, because I feel like that's how I ended up making mistakes, because I'm putting it in, I'm trying to add up the points, and we're still waiting to finish to see if you get the 3 point, or if you don't get it. I feel like I should just not even touch it until the week is over, and then I'll do the full updates.
Yeah. I think for next year, I'll be in charge of. I'll set up like an Excel, right? And then what we'll do is we'll just list all the games, and we'll list the point spread when we're picking. And then I'll put a check or whatever, whoever picks what game. So we'll have, that'll be concrete, like, because sometimes like points change, like, and then it depends on, like when we did the pick and all that stuff, like
No, no, no.
that kind of.
Yeah, but I already do that. I
Okay.
already do that. That's what I was just saying. I
Oh,
already put the. I already have the spreadsheet, and I have the. I mean, I sent y'all the link to the spreadsheet. And I already put it in when we make the picks. I put them in right away. I'm talking about when
Okay.
I update them as far as who scored what. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? Like sometimes I'll miss. The only thing I missed was like 'cause sometimes I'll go and I'll punch in whatever. If you got 4 points for the week and you had, or if I get 3 points for the week, whatever, I get my one or my two right, and I get my three wrong, and I had 14 points the week before. Sometimes, like a doofus, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll add 14 and 3 and it'll come out to be 16 and not 17, which is supposed to be. So, but anyway, I mean, I always double check it before it comes to a conclusion. So I make sure everything adds up. So, the big reveal. The big reveal. In third place, you guys are never going to guess. Never going to guess. Third,
the box.
no,
The
not the
box.
box.
The
No.
box.
Third place, Word Life.
I didn't even make it.
Word Life, third place with a total. Let me scroll down, make sure we got it right here. With a
That,
total of 34 points. Yeah, you had a rough year, rough year. Your best
that was
week,
terrible, man.
your best, yeah, it was rough. But your best week, you did have a really strong week 12 though. You can always look back at that. That was nice. Week 12, you got the touchdown. You got no picks wrong. The only thing you got was a push on the Cardinals against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So you finish with a record of 17-36-1.
Jeez.
And I said this before, and I'm going to say it one more time. You cannot just disregard these touchdown picks. They are important.
I know, bro. I
The touchdown
fucking
picks are the touchdown picks decided the champion this year.
yeah.
Just so you know.
Oh shit.
Oh, well,
100%.
well, now we know that you won. Jeez. Spoiler alert.
Wait, how do we know that I won? I'm talking
I
about
don't
the
know.
touchdown. The box doesn't make touchdown picks. That's the point.
Oh yeah, but the box is untouchable.
Or is it?
Oh, is it?
Spoiler
Ooh.
alert. Exactly. Thought you
Dun,
figured
dun,
it all out,
dun.
smart guy. Just let me
Oh,
finish
my
this.
fault. I didn't know this was the Sixth Sense. Damn.
Yeah, you didn't know. I'm dead. You didn't even know. I'm dead here through the Zoom the whole time. Fucking ghost. I'm like fucking Bill Cosby
I'm
in that
dead. You
movie.
didn't even know.
Ghost dead. If I turn the light on right now, disappear. All right. So third place. Excuse me, fourth place technically because we're including the box. Fourth place.
But,
Excuse me. Third place with 56 points. The box.
whoa.
The box in third place, 56 points. Losing record for the box this year.
Really? Wow.
26-28 overall. And unfortunately, the box obviously does not make any touchdown picks, so did not have an opportunity to catch up with us.
Damn.
Maybe next year, buddy.
Wow.
But that in and of itself, I'm happy about. First year that the box loses. So that's a good thing. I feel like even though it's not necessarily because we did better, it somehow still makes me feel better. Now, Word Life. Surprisingly, because what I looked back at, I was thinking since you fell behind early, I was thinking, was it a struggle to get those last picks because you're always having the last of the picks at the end? So I was like, maybe you missed out on a lot of ones and twos. But your ones and twos, it went in the exact opposite order that I
Right.
thought. You did the
Yeah.
best with the ones, which you would
Right.
think would be the worst because you're usually with the last of amount of choices available.
Yeah.
But you were 8 and 10 on your 1 point picks.
Because it's free. You know, it's free. Like this, it's 1 point. You don't
It's
really, you
not
know
as
what I mean? It's
stressful. It's
free.
not as
Yeah, it's
you don't
free.
have to put as much
I
stress
thought
and
about that
anxiety
too. It's
into it.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's like when I broke this shit down, it was interesting to me. So you had 8 and 10, 1 point picks, 5, 12 and 1, 2 point
Yeesh.
picks, slightly worse, and then 4 and 14 on the 3 point picks. That killed you.
Terrible.
The 3 point picks murdered you this year. And 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. Parkinson, I feel like he was all three, but I don't think it was. The crazy thing is, week one, we both picked Jets touchdown, or Flex and I both picked Jets touchdown scores. They both scored,
That's
and
crazy.
then I feel like they didn't score another touchdown for the rest of the season. I feel like.
Right, right. That's crazy.
Okay. In second place, with 56.5 points, with overall record, best record, overall record, 27, 26 and 1.
Oof.
Flex.
Wow.
Now, here's what surprised me.
Wow.
I think I got confused because you shared with us all of these touchdown bets that you hit
Okay.
throughout the year. You only hit 2 touchdowns out of 18
Are you
for the
serious?
for the contest. How can that be? I was shocked when I looked back. Yo, deadass. When I saw that I only had 2 points for you for touchdowns, I literally went back through every single game log, every week 1 through 18, every single guy you picked, and went to the box score to make sure I got it right and I didn't miss one. Because I was like,
That's
yo,
crazy.
there's no way he only got 2 touchdowns. But yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I can't. But you know what? I will say that I think last week I realized I felt that because I want to say who was. I think um I had was it is it Parker
Last
Washington?
week,
He's on the yeah last week. Parker Washington is the guy on
who's
the
on the
Jaguars, right?
Jaguars, yes.
I picked him to score a touchdown. Betting.
Yes.
I didn't pick him
For the contest.
for the contest.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like he had that touchdown, I think, in like the first 5 minutes of play. And I thought to myself, I'm like, damn, why do I've had some good touchdown picks, but I never put them. I like I couldn't recognize why there was a difference between the ones I send to the pick contest and then the ones that I pick myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't,
Yeah.
I couldn't, and I was like, damn, yo, I feel like I haven't hit one in a long time, even though I hit so many touchdown parlays
Throughout the
in
season.
real life.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's
Right.
why I just felt like my boy Flex is on it with the touchdowns this year. That was just in my head. And then when I went
Right.
back and I was like, wait, he only had 2 touchdowns, right?
That's
As a matter of
crazy.
fact,
I
it was
didn't-
even when I was thinking about when I was at the I remember it was the week after. Was it the week after? Yeah, I think it was the week after I went to the Jets game. Was when you no, it was the week before. The week before I went to the Jets game, you hit the Tyler Algier against the Jets touchdown, and I remember thinking that was a slick pick. And that one and week one
week
Justin
one?
Fields were the only 2 touchdowns for the contest that
That's
you hit.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, and I deadass went back and looked because there was a couple. I was like, because I saw that you missed on Dart. You picked Dart when I was like, yo, I thought he hit on Dart, but you must have hit
thought
on
you
it
hit
in real
on
life
Dart.
because the week that you had him, week 5, he didn't score. That was against. I think that was the game against the I think that was the game he got hurt against the Saints.
And you know what's funny? It's like that's probably the only week he didn't score a fucking
That's
rushing.
what I'm
Right.
saying. That's why I was like, when I'm looking at these things and I'm seeing, I see Dart and I see that I have it marked red. I'm like, nah, he had to have hit more than, but and it was you just narrowly missed in a lot of them too. Like you would pick a guy and he would score the next week. Like that happened with you with Luke McCaffrey. He scored the week before and the week after you picked him. Same thing with Lad McConkey. You picked him, he didn't score. And then I picked him and then he scored
Yeah.
the next week. So you ran into some bad luck with the touchdowns, but still the best picker. Still overall over the last 4 years, you're still ahead in terms of record by quite a bit. But first place with 7 touchdowns, which
Wow.
made all the difference,
The box.
is your boy.
Oh
Wow.
wow! Congratulations.
7 tutties. That's that dragged me out of the basement.
You know what? I think I realized that last week too. Because who was the pick? Who was the guy that you picked last week?
Ray Davis.
Yeah, you picked it, and it was like it was pretty early in the game that he scored it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn man, I feel like you've hit a lot of touchdowns. You know, like those were like that one specifically like clicked me to realize, damn,
good
yo,
one.
yeah, that was a good one. It was like, damn, he's slick with this shit, and then like it made me realize he has been good all season picking those touchdowns.
Yeah, I was in a little bit of a drought. I hit a lot early though. I hit a lot. I think I hit the touchdowns 3 out of the first 4 weeks. And then I was on a little dry spot and hit one for like 4 or 5 weeks. Then I had Jennings, and then I had McConkey week 13, and then the last one I think was Davis. Yeah. So that was them. The touchdowns made the difference for you had a great record, 3-point picks, 10-7 and 1. My 3-point picks was 8 and 10. I was ashamed of that. I was not happy that my threes were 8 and 10. If fucking Joe Burrow would have just covered last week, I would have had the perfect record. I would have been 9 and 9 in threes, 9 and 9 in twos, and 9 and 9 in ones. I
That's
was
crazy.
9 and
Yeah,
9
yeah.
in twos and ones,
And nine
but 8
and nine
10 in
costed you
threes.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Bastard. It would have been perfect if I also hit 9 touchdowns somehow, but it would have been
Yeah,
9.
and you know, but if
Jackson
only
Dart.
if only they didn't stop the game after Miles Garrett got
Yo, don't
his
even get
sack
me
that-
started on Zach Taylor. Don't even get me started on Zach Taylor humiliating himself, complaining about, oh, we wanted to run a hurry up offense. You need to hurry up and get the fuck out of my face. What hurry up offense? Your season is over. You're a terrible coach. Oh my God. Don't even get me started. But the only
that's
thing
funny.
that killed you was 2-point picks.
What was it?
2-point picks. So you were 10-7 and 1 for threes, 11 and 7 for ones, 6 and 12 2-point picks.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't hit a lot.
Yeah, the twos were rough. I was the only one I was 50% for the twos, but you were 6 and 12 and Cheeks was 5, 12 and 1. So for whatever reason, that mid pick.
Yeah, I don't. You know what's funny that I don't even maybe one time because I think I went I swept. I don't feel like I had many 5-point weeks. Getting the 3 and the 2. I got a lot. I feel like I had a lot of the 3s and 1s.
Yeah,
But just the
you
3
went
and
on a
2s.
stretch. So starting week 10, you hit 3-point picks every week up until last week. 7 weeks in a row, you hit the 3-point pick.
Man,
Damn.
I try to get cute.
Nice.
Shame on me.
Yeah, you tried to get cute. You did try to get cute. You know you did. And then
Yeah, I know.
the other thing was the from what was it, week 12, I think? Yeah, I think was it week 12? Yeah, from week 12 to 18. Oh, no, not week 12. After week 7, actually. From week 7 on, you were 21, 14, and 1. That's pretty strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty
'Cause
strong.
I think I started off pretty
Well, that
pretty
was the other.
slow.
Yeah, that was the other thing. So, like I mentioned last week, at no point I was pretty much either just below or just above 500 the whole year. I was never more than two. Well, I was never more than 3 games above or below. You were at week 7 or after week 6, before you went on the run starting week 7. After week 6, you were 6-12.
That's crazy.
At the end of going into week 7, you were 6-12. Then week 7, you went 3-0. And then week 8, you went 1-2. Week 9, 2-1, 3-0. Yeah, you went on a run, definitely to finish the season.
Nice.
So there it is. What other stats did I pull up here? Yeah, I guess that's it. And the box 3-point picks was 11-7. 2-point picks was 8-10, and 1-pointers was 7-11. But box doesn't put too much thought into this, so who cares? All right, so one season ends, another season begins.
Look at my man Joe Judge on the screen.
Where?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Ole Miss tackles.
Look at him. You saw my man Eli there? And Lewis?
Nah.
Ray Lewis is there? Fire.
Nah, I haven't seen that.
Is DK Metcalf there? Didn't he go to Ole Miss?
He did. A.J. Brown, too.
Yeah, that's
Ole
right.
Miss
That's
two
right.
last games for trying to slap somebody.
Word.
He's back, though.
Because somebody was talking about his Ole Miss. All right, so,
That was hard.
what's the? Explain the format to me again, or do you not want to do it that way again?
Let's just do the regular. We'll pick every game and do. Let's have less things to keep track of.
So it's
When
not
we're
gonna
doing
be.
picks.
We're not gonna do them tiered. Now it's
No.
gonna be 6 points. We're
No,
gonna. Okay.
Everybody picked the same games. The games and
Okay,
right?
so how do you want to do it in terms of the order of picking? You want to do it snake drafts? What it can't be a draft, obviously. Or are we doing a draft? Do you want to just do a draft? Because we have enough teams to do it.
do you want to do? No, but I don't know because I kind of want to.
All right, so we'll just
I
keep it
kinda
the
like the
same. We'll
big
do
rec-
it the same way
yeah.
we did. We'll be 1 point. We'll pick every game, pick a side, 1 point each,
Yeah.
and then we'll just tier the points up until the Super Bowl the way we did before. Okay, so should I give? So we just go game. Well, let's just go game by game.
Yeah.
Wanna do it that way, or should I? I
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through
yeah.
every game. You go through every game.
No,
go
no,
through
no, no,
game
no.
by
We'll
game.
just
Right,
whatever point you start off. If I disagree with something, then we'll just go through and make a pick.
All right. So first game up, Saturday. That's the usually the
Texans.
the Texans special, but the Texans have now they've now they got a glow up and they're on Monday Night Football now in the wild card. Is this Super Wild Card weekend again? Because it's Monday.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! And now, as a matter of fact, since this Amazon Monday, it's just probably super duper.
It might be sales too.
Wow. All right, first game up: Rams at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers, 10.5 point home dogs. I'm taking the Panthers. I love my Rams, but I just don't have. I know it's gonna sound crazy. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Rams lose this game. I don't expect them to lose the game, but I wouldn't be shocked just because the Rams have been a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team this season, especially on the road, especially outdoors. I'm not going to be one of these because I got into it earlier in the season when people were trying to say that Stafford can't play outdoors. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to be because Stafford can't play outdoors. I think Stafford will be fine outdoors. Only thing I think is that, you know, the Panthers team is going to keep coming. Like, they're at home. And speaking of that, matter of fact, hold on. Let me stop the music. Because I didn't even get into this last week, and I wanted to because I got pissed off. Yo, after week 17, did y'all watch Panthers Seahawks? Did you watch any of that game, week 17? So the
Yeah, I watched
Panthers
some of it.
had the
I was supposed
Seahawks
to.
at home. If they would have won that game, they wouldn't have had to play for the division the following week against the Bucks. But they were huge underdogs in that game, and I didn't really expect them to win. But I'm watching the end of this game, and they took a loser knee. Did you see this?
No.
I don't think I've ever seen that in the NFL. It may have happened before and I missed it, but to me, I was disgusted by that. I thought that was terrible. When an opportunity, and it's not like they were getting blown out. I think they were down 2 scores. They were down 12 points, 14 points, whatever. It was a 2-score game. You have the ball with just under 2 minutes left, and you're just going to kneel the game out and wave the white flag? I was disgusted. I thought that shit was terrible. I don't think I've ever seen that in pro football. That's some high school shit. Like,
Wow.
when do you, if any, they'll run the ball into the line 3 times and let the clock run out. Niggas taking a loser knee at home? I was disgusted by that. I don't know why it's not a bigger deal. I was offended. I was like, yo, if I'm a Panthers fan and I go to see my team with a chance to clinch the division right here at home against the Seahawks, okay, we're down 2 scores. Y'all niggas is taking a knee with a minute 55? A
That
loser
sucks.
knee at home. I thought that was terrible.
Wow.
Thoughts?
I think, yeah, I think I missed. No, I think I missed that.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
I remember because
I don't think I've ever seen that before. Do y'all recall ever seeing that in professional football in any circumstance? I don't even think I've seen that in a preseason game where you just take a knee and end the game.
A loser knee. That's crazy.
Yo, a loser
Yeah, I
knee is
know.
nuts at home.
That's
Yeah, I'm
nuts.
just trying to think what the rationale behind it was because
There is no
what was
rationale.
it? No. I'm just saying, like, did they get a lot of interceptions that game? Like, or did people get hurt? I
I don't.
can't
To,
really.
to be honest with you, maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. But honestly, I don't care. I don't care if you got Andy Dalton out there. I don't care if, unless we're talking about a Damar Hamlin where we got to cancel the game, some kind of tragedy happens. This is football. People get hurt. Like, this is what we out here for. There's no only under the most extreme of circumstances do I think that a loser knee is acceptable, especially at home.
Yo, word. That's crazy.
Like,
A loser knee
I've
is
never seen that
crazy.
before. I thought it was foul. I was offended. Okay, so they were down. When did the knees start? Anyway, I'll pull it up later. But I just
Because I
started
think you
thinking
picked
about.
you picked that game.
No, I didn't pick that game.
Oh, you didn't? I thought
No.
so.
That would make sense why I was so offended if I did pick that. And then I'd be extra heated if I had picked that game. But I remember not picking that game.
I think you were tempted to though.
Yeah, because they were big dogs. They were getting I think they were getting 7.5 points, something like that. Oh no, wait, I did. That was my 1 point pick. I did pick that game. I had that. That was my 1 point pick. They were getting 7, and truth be told, I wasn't salty about a 1 point pick. I didn't really care that much about that. I just was like, yo, what the? I just thought that shit was disrespectful. But anyway, I'm taking the Panthers. I'll take the 10.5 points. I don't expect them to take a fucking loser knee and end their season, but who knows? I expect them to keep on. The reason why I was in my flow and I'm thinking I expect them to keep on playing, but then I just was reminded about the fact that they didn't keep on playing, just 2 weeks ago. But I don't expect that this week. I think the Panthers will keep coming. And this Panthers team, like, I could totally see them. Bryce Young, he could complete 4 passes, and they could be 4, 60-yard touchdowns. Like, that's how crazy and weird his whole game is. I just don't expect the Rams to run away on the road that way. So, and obviously there's all kinds of trends and stats that back up teams that are huge road favorites do not perform particularly well. This is actually the biggest road favorite in playoff history. There's never been a road favorite
Really?
this big. Yeah. And Well, as of right now, if it closes at this number, maybe it'll get bet down to 8.5 or something. But as of right now, biggest road favorite in home in NFL history, and they're coming off of they're on a short week.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Panthers at least played Saturday to Saturday. The Rams played Sunday. They got a one less day. Um, I don't know. I just don't. It's just way too big of a number. So I'm gonna take the Panthers. I do believe in the Rams, but I mean they already beat them once.
Yeah.
Badly.
I'm actually going to go the opposite way. I'm not going to use the D word. All right. Um, I just think that it's mainly because of the spread being this high. Um, I just feel like this is just baiting people to take the points. I know because everything leads to you taking the points. Like obviously they already beat this team. Um, Matt Stafford playing outdoors. It's actually going to be like 70 degrees, raining. If we remember last year how he performed um, in the
Snow.
rain in yeah in Philly or whatever it was in Philly, but um, I don't know. I just think that everything is being like it just feels like they're begging you to take the Panthers and the points. Um, you know, when it comes to stuff like this in times of like rest and travel, I feel like McVay is pretty dialed in. If you, I think a couple years ago they stayed, I think in Virginia or something like that. Like because they had two, when they went over to England or whatever, something like that. 'Cause I
Wasn't
think
that
he's really
wasn't that Sean Payton with the Broncos?
no, no, I mean it could be as well, but I'm definite like that McVay did that as well. Um, I just think that when he's like, dialed into that type of stuff. I don't think that the rest issue is really a big deal for me. So I don't know. I just think the Panthers first time here. Um, I know obviously Bryce Young's probably played in big games, but this is a big stage. I don't know. I just think that it's a young team, and so I think they're just not ready for it. And maybe being a young team, they kind of lean on like we already beat this team before, so we could do it again. Um, I don't know. I just feel like the experience is going to take over. Is Devontae Adams going to be back? Is that
Yeah, he should be back.
all right? So yeah, I think the team is also completely different when he's back too, especially like in the red zone. They don't, they don't get cute. Like I feel like they were at certain points in the last few weeks. So give me the Rams, given all those points. Uh, I just I feel more confident in them than going with the Panthers.
Yeah. I gotta pick some. I gotta agree with somebody here. I gotta be the agreeer here somewhere. And
No,
I know
that
you
means you
guys,
gotta. I mean,
you
that
guys might hate
means
me. One of you guys might hate me
huh,
for picking your teams, but in this round's gonna be you, Flex. You're gonna hate me because I'm going with the Rams also. Um, I just think like it's big boy
Why
time. It's
why
big boy
why does he
football
hate that?
because I've been picking wrong all year. So
Oh,
oh wait, so
this,
you're
this
agreeing?
is
You're
it's a new
agreeing with
year.
me?
It's a new year, man.
yeah.
God
New
damn!
year,
No.
fresh start. It's a
So
fresh start.
yeah, for everything you said, man, I just think it's big boy football time, and the Panthers just barely made it in. So um, I feel like the Rams are gonna just pour it on. They're not gonna rest nobody. They don't. They're not taking this lightly. They got, like you said, they got their asses kicked by the Panthers early in the season, and and this is playoffs, man. This is where everybody got to come in here, strap up, and play their best football. And I believe the Rams are gonna do that. And I'm going with the Rams giving 10.5 to the Panthers.
Strap it on. You want to start the next game?
The Saturday game, right? Green Bay Bears.
Yes, sir.
Green Bay at the Bears. Green Bay giving
Oh no no
one and
no.
a
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Green Bay at the Bears.
yeah, the Bears getting 1.5 at home. Um, home dogs against the Green Bay Packers. This one's tough, man. It's like Green Bay's like everyone's darling in the beginning of the year. They didn't look too hot. Um, man, I feel this one's tough for me, man. I'm gonna probably go with the Bears though, getting points at home, just because they're home dogs. I feel like they could run the ball very well. Green Bay's a little beat up in on the defense. But everything turns up on the like everything turns up, man. Especially defenses. I feel like in the playoff turns up, and I feel like the Bears, they got some key guys back there, man. They got some key players in certain spots. You know, that you can move on them and you could get points on them. But I feel like with with the playoffs implication, I feel like they're gonna turn up a little bit. Um, and I'm going with the Bears, man. Give me the Bears at home.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna have to agree with you now. With the Bears pick, man. I think, like you said, we've uh the Packers they were kind of like preordained to be Super Bowl favorites as soon as they traded for Micah Parsons. Obviously, he's not there currently. Um, I think he would have presented like in a game like this where you have Caleb kind of running around and using his athleticism to kind of buy himself time. Somebody like a pass rusher like Micah Parsons is kind of something that could help neutralize that. And even though on paper they do have the Packers have some edge rushers, I just feel like none of them provide that speed. And like Rashawn Gary, that at one point was a very good player, but it just feels like he's been non-existent recently. And and especially now that he's going to get all the attention did that because Parsons are no longer there. Um, and the Packers, I don't know, man. I just feel like that they've been a little bit arrogant. Um, them like taking last week as if they were good to go. Seeing the way that Jordan Love has been playing up and down, not getting him back in there to kind of get his feet back under him, at least for a couple series or it just felt like they're not a team that should be thinking, all right, we're good to go. You know what I'm saying? It just feels
Mhm.
like they've been really up and down. Jordan Love has been really up and down, and I don't know, man. I think with like you said with with that defensive backfield, this team that creates turnovers, and Jordan Love has been turnover prone at certain times. Um, I just feel like this is a game that the Bears could win and dare I say maybe should win. So give me King Caleb and the
Wow.
Bears getting that's for you, Cheeks.
Queen.
No. Remember what we were talking about earlier.
Nah,
Shame on
right, you're right.
you.
I was thinking of cat for some reason.
Hmm.
Yo, I'm glad you brought that up because I've been saying for a while that they are the sports doppelgangers of each other. Like Caleb Williams is the
You
Carl
think you
Anthony
gotta
Towns of.
think cat when you think Caleb. You gotta think Caleb. You think
No, they look
back then.
alike.
There's a lot of like there. A lot of
Yeah,
like there.
but like there's been a couple times where I'll be scrolling and it'll be a picture of the walk-in and I don't know who it is. I'm
Thank
like,
you.
oh shit, is that Cat? Is that Caleb?
Yeah,
Who's
that's
that?
not funny. That's not
Imagine
funny.
Like
they switch
they look
positions from
alike a lot.
man
Um,
out of nowhere. You for the playoffs, you see a fucking 7 foot Caleb Williams back there. Be like, holy
I
shit!
mean,
What? How,
it may the Knicks might need Caleb Williams back there with the way the
Yeah.
Cat has been playing lately,
yikes!
but I'll save
Right,
that for the ISO show. But
right.
anyhow, the I'm gonna take the Bears as well. I wanted to take the
Ooh.
Packers, but for me, it's just it all comes down to for me if I would have been able to see some. I mean, we're getting Jordan Love back for the Packers. I think I would have been more on the Packers, as crazy as it sounds, if either Jordan Love had played the last couple of weeks or if they were just going to go with the person that did. Like, if they would have played Malik Willis all the way through and just kept it rolling with him, I would have been more inclined to take the Packers. But throwing Jordan Love back in there after he's been out for a couple of weeks, and even when he was in, he never really looked like he was fully clicking and in sync. I mean, we did see him a couple of years ago just step into the playoffs and all of a sudden turn into a different quarterback, which is obviously still, I guess, a possibility. But at least when we saw that, Jordan Love against the Niners and against the Cowboys, he was at least playing throughout the season, coming off of a concussion, no Tucker Kraft. The whole Matthew Golden situation, I don't think ever really worked out. It feels to me like the Packers still have not figured out what they're doing with that offense. I mean, I feel like they were kind of clicking on all cylinders when Tucker Kraft was healthy and they had all their guys healthy, but feels like ever since he's gone out, I don't know what it is, but they seem to be struggling to find some type of identity in offense. I don't know if they're prioritizing trying to run with Josh Jacobs, or they're prioritizing the short pass, the tight end, the deep pass, Christian Watson. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. And I just feel like the Bears are a team that has continued to get better every week, and they have not stopped. Like, I feel like this Bears team going into this home wild card game is the best Bears team that has been going into a game at all this season. Like, I feel like every week, like starting out at the beginning of the season, I was kind of inclined to fade them. New coach, let's see how they put it together. They picked up a couple of wins, kind of fluky. I was never really sold. But back end of the season, and even as recently as probably the last month and a half, they seem to be believing, they seem to be getting things together, and I just feel like these feel like two teams that are kind of not, I wouldn't say going in opposite directions, because I don't feel like the Packers are on a decline. They just feel like they're kind of stagnant and they're not really clicking, where I feel like the Bears are continuing to click more and more every week. So I gotta roll with y'all, and I gotta make it a clean sweep and take the Bears as well.
Wow.
And Luther Burden emerging, and Colston Loveland.
Yeah, turns out he's not that much of a burden.
Ooh.
All right,
That's good.
first game
Now
Sunday.
you're speaking my love language.
Oh my god.
Oh, the flex bars cannot be topped.
Yeah.
Okay, first game coming up on. Wait a minute, what am I missing here?
Sunday.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
I think you're right.
Well, yes, Sunday.
Yeah, first game coming up on Sunday. Bills Jags. This is the one I was dreading the most. I didn't want to pick this one first, but oh man, yeah, I'm gonna have to take the Jags, man.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take the Jags. I learned a valuable lesson when I took the Bills at home a couple weeks ago to beat the Eagles, laying 1.5 points. I learned that, I mean, not even really learned, because I already knew that they go as Josh Allen goes. But what I learned was that I don't want to be holding a Bills ticket while I'm watching Josh Allen have an off day, because you know that your bet is dead, and you know that you're dead. You know that there's nowhere else that they're gonna go to bring things together. I don't expect him to have an off day. I think he'll perform okay against the Jags, but I don't know, man. I just can't. The Bills just don't. They don't. I mean, obviously, I don't want to be disrespectful to James Cook. He has really proven that he's a legitimate running back. I feel like a lot of people were kind of, myself included, I'm not going to absolve myself of that. I feel like myself and most people did not consider him to be a elite caliber running back. I think people still, if you ask them, they probably still is a lot of people who would not, come clean and say that they consider him an elite caliber running back. But I feel like, he's all they got aside from Josh Allen, and I feel like he has proven that he is a top flight back. But I just don't know. The Jags really Jags, similar to the Bears, they seem to be a team that is getting better as the season progresses. What the new coach is implementing seems to be tightening up every week in and week out. Obviously they're at home. And, I feel like last year, I'm kind of going back to where I was with the Bills last year. Like, I remember last year going into the season thinking, this is it for the Bills. You know, they're on the way out, the window is closed. And then Josh Allen just has this unbelievable MVP year, carries them to several wins, carries them to the playoffs. And it kind of created like what I feel like is a little bit of a mirage to think that this Bills team is something that they're not. They're just not a top to bottom, complete, high caliber team. Now, maybe Josh Allen can will them to a win here, but I don't know, man. I don't. If anything, I definitely don't feel comfortable laying. If you told me I was getting a point and a half with the Bills, might be more inclined to lean that way. I think it should be a close game, but I don't know, man. Asking Josh Allen to carry the Bills to a win by any kind of a margin on the road against a good team, it's tough to do. So I'm gonna have to take the Jags. Have to. I'm not rooting for it. I want to see Josh Allen play well. I want to see him. I want to see them represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, but I'm not willing to bet on it.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with you for everything you've said as well, and select the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars have a good chance, in my opinion, to go pretty far in these playoffs. Um, I think that this defense, they have the speed to kind of contain what makes Josh Allen great in games and situations like this, where you know he's running out to the sideline and you don't know if he's going to run it or pass it. Then he throws a ball deep, deep across his body, and you know Gabe Davis or Shakir is wide open for a score. I think that this Jaguars defense has the speed to kind of not have to overreact to any of that stuff. And especially early in the season, we saw how good they were getting turnovers. And obviously it leveled off for a bit during the season, but that's one of those things, man. If you're getting coached to turn over the ball, it's luck. The result, I feel like, is luck. Whether you get it or not is luck. Um, but the point is that it's always available. It's a toss up in terms of like you being in a position to get a turnover. And I feel like if Josh Allen is in the position where he has to be Superman, like obviously he's been for the last couple weeks, the Jaguars defense has a way to neutralize that in terms of like what he feels like he's going to be able to do. And if he does do the Superman thing where he thinks that he could get away with all of these throws, I feel like this team also has the possibility to create those turnovers that we've seen sometimes from Josh Allen when he does get in that mode. So I feel like that this is a difficult matchup for him on that end. And the way that this offense is playing for the Jaguars, I feel like the Bills don't really present that big uh, of a mismatch on the defensive side. You know what I'm saying for them? So um, I don't know. I just feel like to me all the matchups play into the Jaguars' favor because I think the closest one is the Bills' offense versus the Jaguars' defense. But what the Jaguars' defense does can neutralize certain aspects of Josh Allen's game if he does try to, turn it into a one man show. So I think I have to go with the Jaguars, especially at home. The later on in the season, I think that the Bills kind of count on them being in their weather and making the other team kind of fear, uh, the elements. They're used to this being a home game for them. Um, so I think that's kind of out of their comfort zone as well. Give me the Jaguars.
Wow. Amazing. All right. Well, you guys are gonna hate me for this too, because I'm going Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, you have to.
Um, Yeah, but I don't want to get chased out of my hometown. No,
Oh,
but
please.
a lot of what you guys said, obviously I agree with. I'm also picking them. I'm going with the better coach team too, man. Like we've been talking about the Bills for years about their
Damn, how you gonna do
coaching.
my man Sean McDermott like that?
I mean, I just feel like this year at least it's true. And McDermott's been on every year. We're like waiting for him
Why
to
do you
be.
hate people who have cancer?
No, I don't hate. I probably have it on now. I like
No, no,
my
don't say
father.
that. God
God
forbid.
forbid, but I mean, I gotta get myself checked out. No, but no, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, I
But
hate
I'm
marrow.
noticing a pattern with you.
I hate marrow because
First it was Mara, now it's McDermott. I'm watching.
it's not
I'm keeping
cancer. I
keeping
hate
an eye on
cancer
you.
though. I hate cancer. That's why. 'Cause I sense the cancer in them. No,
So when
that's
people
fucked up.
have
See,
cancer
see
in
what you're
them, you
doing,
hate
man?
them
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it. Okay,
exactly. You see what you're doing? You're making me say
I'm
things I don't
sorry. I'm
mean.
sorry. Go ahead.
Jacksonville man, is the better coach team. They believe in each other, man. They got that. They remind me of the of Washington Commanders last year, almost like they're clicking. Everyone plays their part. And that defense is good, man. I said it earlier in in the season, man. They fly, man. These guys are fast. They get to it, and I expect them when I'm thinking playoff defenses turn up. I'm expecting them to play some real good defense. So they're number one against the one, I believe, and that's what the Bills want to do. They want to run the ball, and then they want Allen to do everything after, as they want to run the ball until Josh Allen. It's time to give him the cape and take over the game, and I don't think they're gonna be able to do that with this defense, and I believe that they're gonna get out coached. I believe that the Bills are gonna get out coached here. So give me the Bills. I mean, give me Jacksonville.
So will you go to the game?
I want to. I wanted to. Tickets are too expensive, man.
How much are
I
the
wanted to.
tickets?
I think the nosebleeds are like 350, which is
What?
not bad. But
Nah, for
for me,
Jacksonville, no way. Is it
for
really
Jacksonville, yeah,
$3.50 or 350?
300. 300 is cheap for nosebleeds if you really think about it, for playoff football. I think. How much would they be in
Nah.
New York?
Well, I don't know. We haven't had a New York playoff game in quite some time, so I haven't really looked
Yeah,
into the prices.
inflation.
But
Especially with
Flex should
inflation
know.
now. So
Like you would know
how
out
the
of
hell should
everybody.
I know?
now, will you at least go to like a real Jacksonville bar and watch the game amongst the
Nah.
people? Nah. Okay.
They
Worth a
know
shot.
they. I can't hide. I can't hide with yo, bro. I be wearing Gator shit, and I don't. I can't hide. I can't. They see me right away. They
No, but
know
that's
right
what I
away.
thought. I thought maybe you were gonna do like a Drewski. You're gonna paint white and be out there rooting for the Jags. Do
Yeah,
a whole vignette.
they pull up to yeah they pull up to your fucking Gators hoodie and they go like
Right.
this. Shh, that's a Mets hoodie.
Right.
Let's get him, boys.
Yo, he's an imposter. Yo, I'm all meted out. Yo, no,
Yeah.
the other day, yo, they grill. They look like to see what your shit is. And the other day, a little kid from the side, he just saw me in the orange and blue. He goes, "Go Gators!" I ignored it. I'm not thinking anything. My shorty was. I was like, "What do you say?" He said, "Go Gators." Then I turned around. I was like, I gave him the thumbs up.
Nice.
But I'm like halfway because I don't want him to see the Mets
It's
shit.
a
'Cause I'm
Knicks.
just like, I felt bad it was a kid. If it was a guy, I would. But this is Mets. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
And they would have been burning crosses on your lawn
Nigga,
and
you should have
everything.
you should have looked. You should have turned your head like this.
Right. My hat stayed still. Anyway,
All
yeah.
right, another
give me
sweep.
give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was a sweep. 2 in a row.
2 in a row. So you want to kick off the second Sunday game?
Yes, sir.
Juicy.
Which is the San
Big-
Francisco
The
49ers.
grudge match.
San Francisco 49ers at Philly. Philly giving 5.5. Bro, this one's tough, man, because it's like we haven't seen a Philly team like just thinking about the game makes me say, okay, this is the perfect time Philly gets it all together, but they're gonna look like how they looked, and then I draw a blank. What week was it again that they looked like they was a well organized team? You know what I mean? It's like, damn, like I just can't say that and feel confident that Philly's just gonna come in here and look like a well-oiled machine. Um, San Fran just doesn't have the players though, so it's uh it's a tough one, man. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could pick Philly here. Uh, I'm gonna go
Come on,
Philly,
do it
man.
for your homies out in Philly or your
Right.
boys.
I'm gonna go for Philly, man. Just because San Fran don't, I don't think San Fran has the players on the on the field, but I don't feel great about it. I'll say that. I'll give me Philly. Give him 5.5.
Uh, I don't necessarily disagree, but I don't know, man. I feel like the 49ers have been playing some good football, man, and I don't like the spread because it kind of makes me feel like the same reason that I picked the Rams in the first game. Um, but I don't know, man. The Eagles have gone through so many stretches where like it just feels like they you don't know what they're up to, and you don't know if they know what they're doing. And the way that the 49ers defense has been playing, um, and Brock, I think Brock Purdy has played really well recently. I know it wasn't he didn't necessarily do that well against the Seahawks defense, but I don't think this is the same caliber defense as the Seahawks that we're talking about with the Eagles. So
Mm,
um, I think this game is a lot closer, man. I think it goes to the wire. Um, I think I'm gonna go with the 49ers, man, and my boy Rob Saleh. Last time Rob Saleh played the 49ers, they pulled out the old victory.
mm. Wow. Well, we're gonna have a
Last
greer
time
here.
Rob Saleh did what?
Played the Niners.
Yeah. Oh, played the Eagles.
Eagles.
Oh, you said play the Niners, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He's,
yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah,
did say.
that's
I
why I
thought he
got
was talking about
confused.
when the Jets.
Slipped. Yeah.
I thought we were talking about the Jets. I was like, I don't
Me
remember
too.
that.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay. Man.
It's a tough one.
I have to take. Yeah. I have to take the points with the Niners because I swore I was not going to take the Eagles as a favorite again for the rest of the season. Um, but I don't trust the Niners at all, and the only thing that beats that is that I can't trust I can't trust I can't trust the Eagles to win by margin. They have not done anything this year that makes you think that they're going to win by margin. But I mean, I dug pretty deep into this game because when the line first came out, it was 3.5, and I was like, Eagles only laying 3.5 at home. I would like it if it was 3, but I was interested. I didn't bet it, but I was interested. Now it's slowly getting bet up. Now it's 5.5, and I don't know why that is, but part of me feels like that might be an injury report situation. Niners, Trent Williams returned to practice, but I don't know if he's healthy or if he's going to play. Lane Johnson is also a question mark for the Eagles. The Niners, while they've played well the final stretch of the season, especially after Purdy came back, but if you really look deep into that stretch run they had at the end of the year, very unimpressed. I can't be unimpressed by Drake May, but be impressed by the 49ers because they've played an equally underwhelming schedule if you really look at it. And as soon as they ran up into a defense, obviously the Seahawks defense is top flight, but 3 points at home in a game that could send you, home field and give you a bye, and the best you could put up is 3 points. that to me makes me look back at those. That makes me look back at the big 42 points against the Bears, who have been terrible on defense all year. That makes me look back at 48 points against the Colts with Phillip Rivers, and they've been struggling to find an answer at a cornerback since Sauce Gardner got hurt and Charvarius Ward, his brain got scrambled. They played the Titans before that. They played the Browns before that. They played the Panthers before that. They played the Cardinals before that. I mean, this run really does this 49ers explosion to end the season really does coincide with a list of some very favorable matchups. So I got to kind of dial back what I feel about the 49ers, but I just can't lay 5.5 with the Eagles. So I still got to take the points, but don't really have a ton of confidence in the 49ers. Especially, there was something about watching that game where they lost to the Seahawks, and maybe the broadcast got into my head, but I kept on hearing them talking about, oh, yeah, I spoke to the guys on the 49ers, and they're really excited about getting an opportunity to get home field. And I talked to George Kittle, and he was saying how hard it is for them to travel to the East Coast because the time and if they're going to have to play on the road, they're really not looking forward to it. That made me think, like, okay, if they lose this game, it's a wrap. They're gonna pack it up. But again, I mean, I feel like I'm making all the cases for the Eagles, but it's just too big of a number. 5.5 for the Eagles. The Eagles have been, they want to. They're trying to find a way to beat everybody by a point. It feels like every time I watch an Eagles game, all 18 weeks this season, I feel like I'm watching a team trying to win by as little as possible. So, with that being said, I can't really take the Eagles. So is that me? Do I flip it?
Yeah, now you flip it. Yep.
All right. So, last game, Sunday Night Football. Where do we want to go with this puppy here? I'll take. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers. Still 3.5. I'm gonna take the Chargers. Underwhelmed by the Patriots from a schedule standpoint, and I still can't get that Drake May game against the Bills out of my head. It was like the first chance that he had to, in a all eyes on me game that had consequence, and now that the team has expectations, he had a chance to put the Bills away, up 21, could not put together even a scoring drive at home, could barely get a first down at home against a bad Bills defense. To me, that just feels like a can't really meet a moment situation. And I'm not trying to assign that to Drake May. I'm not saying that's what he's going to be forever. But, we've seen quarterbacks have to kind of go through lumps and progress. I feel like the Chargers, they just have not gone away all year somehow. Justin Herbert as a dog is prolific. Justin Herbert as a dog of 3 or more. I think he's 12-2 as a dog of 3 or more against the spread. And I just think that John Harbaugh is going to have something. It's going to be very difficult for me to take a young quarterback and not first year coaching head coach, but first year with the team head coach at home, laying more than a field goal. Drake May in his first playoff start, he hasn't really shown me anything to think that he's prepared to cover by margin against a well-coached team with a good quarterback. I know that the Chargers have had a lot of injuries, but I think Harbaugh is going to want to keep the game close, and I would personally trust Herbert to make a play late in the game before I trust Drake May. And again, I'm not trying to shit on Drake May and say he don't got it. I'm just saying, I've said this so many times. I got to see it. Like once I see it, I'll believe it, but I got to see it first. So, I think that we've reached I feel like we've reached the inflection point on the Patriots. They're absolute top of the market. Buying in on the Patriots now, you're getting the worst possible price. So, and I feel like almost the opposite with the Chargers. I feel like the Chargers have almost become a little bit underrated. So yeah, I'll take the Chargers, and I'll take the 3.5.
Mm.
I, ca- I think I'm on the same side. Even though I think that the Patriots might pull this out at the end, I think it's going to be a very close game. Only because,
Well, to be clear, I'm not picking the Chargers to win. I think they can win, but
yeah, yeah,
You're
okay,
just
then
picking
I
the
guess
points. Yeah.
we're pretty much exactly the same on the same level. Um, I just think that I know that the offensive line for the Chargers is in a bad shape. I don't particularly fear any edge
yeah,
rusher
Pats don't
or
have a pass rush.
yeah, on the Patriots, man. So I don't feel like that's a
Matthew
thing that I.
Judon's not walking through that door.
Yeah, exactly. You said it. Neither is Vince Wilfork. Um, and I think they could run. But that being said, like I think that they could run the ball against the Patriots, man. And if it's one thing we know that Justin Herbert's gonna he's a. I know you were alluding to his record as an underdog, but I just feel like he gets kind of locked in, man, and I feel like he's kind of has a dog mentality where he's not gonna, he doesn't, he doesn't get credit sometimes like Josh Allen does in terms of like how tough he actually is. I feel like Josh Allen gets more credit even though he's not as tough as Justin Herbert. I think he's tough to bring down. So, against this defense, like if he has to pull out it like and run for a first down, he's gonna do it. They got Amarian Hampton back. And they have receivers to kind of, make it work, man. I don't, Gadsden too has been really good. Uh, the whole season has been like, we don't, we don't fear. The Patriots don't have weapons, and now all of a sudden, they have a few good games. And granted, Travion Henderson has been really good, as well as Stevenson. He had a rough patch with the fumbles earlier on in the year, and I haven't seen like this is one of the rare occasions where like you feel like at some point like Mike the Vrabel was being very stubborn in his usage with Stevenson, and I feel like that's kind of paid off. He's had some like great catches out the backfield. He's had some tough runs, tough touchdowns, and I haven't really seen those fumbles pop up again. That being said, I feel like the Chargers have been playing good defense, so I feel like this is a way closer matchup than kind of like you would feel like based on what you're hearing from the outside. And I think this comes down to a field goal, man. And I think either way, man, I feel good about taking the Chargers in the 3.5.
Yeah. It's a go. Ah man, yeah, it's tough.
Do it. Take the
Three and
Patriots. You know you
it's
want
the
to. Come on.
it's the
Do it.
it's the hook that's got me. Um,
Better watch for the hook.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Patriots, man. I'm gonna go with the Patriots. Um, I agree. It does look like it's gonna be a tighter game, but I could easily see the last drive, the Patriots go downfield and win by 4, 6, something like that. But um, I'm a big believer in what the Patriots is building over there, man. I mean, I know I know the schedule has been an easy one according, it has been, um, and it reflects on the schedule. But there's something to be said for going out there and executing on football Sundays, man. And they've done it, bro. And they've done it to a high level. Um, Drake may kind of came down to reality a little bit, but that's gonna happen, And I think Vrabel got this defense playing ball. Um, I don't even know the players on that side of the fucking ball, but they be out there and they balling. So, um, and the Chargers is like I feel, and I also the Patriots running game I like more also. The Chargers defense I feel like they excel in the pass, not as much as on the run. So give me the Patriots laying 3.5 to the Chargers at home. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. With that being said, let's move on over to Monday night. where the Houston Texans visit the Steelers in Pennsylvania, giving 3 to the Steelers. So the Steelers are home dogs. Wow. This was a tough one, man. Oh, I love this one, but I'm gonna go with Houston because those are my darlings for the playoffs, man. I like the way they play ball. Um, but I can see this being closer than 3, but I'm gonna still go with Houston, giving the 3 just because of that pass rush. Um, Aaron Rodgers, if he goes out there and plays the way that he should, which is get the ball out of his hands quick and all that shit, they could probably make this a closer game or they even win it. But we know that Aaron Rodgers is not gonna do that. We know that at some point he's gonna say, "Nah, I'm gonna fucking go for Augusta. I'm going downfield. I'm going downfield," and the Texans are gonna be waiting for it. They're gonna be waiting for it. So, in the world where they weren't playing Houston, I would probably go. I would probably want to see the Steelers win, but that's not what's going on. So, give me Houston uh, to cover and beat the Steelers in Pennsylvania.
That could have been the Giants playing. Could have been the
Fuck,
Giants playing
what?
the Texans this week. You
San
know, if
Francisco Giants?
if he only signed Aaron Rodgers. Um, no, I'm gonna go. I'm also gonna go with the Texans. Um, and I think it's obviously it's because of that defense. I think that if Aaron Rodgers thinks that he's gonna get the ball out quickly to kind of neutralize the pass rush of the Texans, I think that's where he's gonna get into trouble because he's gonna go over the middle. And these linebackers, man, like Toa Toa and Shakir Al Shahir,
Yeah.
all of these guys, man, they're so busy. Like you see them moving around, and like they're always doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like be that tipping passes, kind of like jumping up and kind of getting in the way and all of that stuff. And I don't think that if the Steelers think that just getting DK Metcalf back is gonna kind of I know that they have spread the ball around, but they spread the ball around to like a bunch of I mean I'm not gonna denigrate them, but like Adam Thielen and Skoranek and it just feels like it just a whole bunch of like almost like the bad version of the Packers where it's like it's a lot of people that get involved, but none of them are really good. You know what I'm saying? It's like Roman Wilson, he'll catch a pass, and then Fryer will catch one, and then John Smith is still on the team. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I don't feel like any of those. They don't have a player that can really kind of take over, and that's including DK Metcalf, because he doesn't really do anything really spectacular except like run after the catch, and I feel like he gets to run out of that after the catch because of his physicality, and you're not going to out physical this defense. So Aaron Rodgers, he's going to try to, he's going to try to get the ball out quick. He's going to do his checks at the line, but I feel like this defense is going, obviously it's not going to confuse him, but I feel like they cause enough chaos to where he's not going to be able to do exactly what he wants. And I don't think that there's anybody on this side that's going to exploit anything. On the Texans side, obviously there's two sides of the ball, and we got to see how
Stroud.
CJ Stroud kind of performs. Like like he's also been up and down. Um, and the running back situation, Woody Marks is. I feel like he's a good running back. But there's not much. I don't feel like there's much after that. So, they also have a situation where they're spreading the ball around a lot with Jaden Higgins, and they got and they have a bunch of wide receivers, and obviously Nico Collins.
Xavier
I don't.
Hutchinson, Jalen Noel.
Yeah, they had the two Jalen and Jaden, so I get confused with those two. But I I feel like they could
And
spread the
don't
ball
and,
around
and don't
too.
forget my man Charlie Christian Kirk either.
That's also true.
No pun intended. That's really his name, Christian. I didn't throw that in because he's Christian.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
wow. Um, oh yeah, because also remember that the priest is the reason that the Steelers won. Estaba
The old
bendiciendo,
Christian versus Catholic.
yeah,
Ball.
bendiciendo the end zone last week. But yeah, man, I just think I mean obviously I know Tomlin's record on Monday night and also um
Ooh,
we also got to go with the his record
forgot
in
about
playoff
that.
games. So I don't know, man. Give me the Texans.
Oof, tough one, tough one.
Yeah, I got to take the Steelers.
I
Wow.
knew that. I knew it. That's why I threw the Monday night thing in there.
Hey, John, let's hear it.
The Steelers are gonna win this game, and I'm gonna be so fucking angry, man. I'm gonna be so mad when they win this game, and I have to watch this bullshit team another week. I swear, I can already feel it. I can already feel it coming.
Oh
That the
shit.
year that I'm ready to be done with them, I'm thinking, all right, finally we're gonna all move on. This is it. It's over. They'll fuck around and win this stupid ass game, and then probably get crushed the following week. But I don't know, man. It's just
You
I
know,
can't even really necessarily. I mean, to be honest with you, as dominant as the Texans' defense has been, the offense has been so lackluster that it's not really that hard to make a case against them because the offense has just been so inconsistent and incompetent mostly. But I don't know. I just think that it's going to be tough. Even if the Steelers don't win the game, I just feel like it's going to be tough to beat the Steelers at home by margin with no running game and with no real passing game. Like, I mean, the Texans, they're. If the Texans were a team that were complementing an aggressive defense with a run game that could control clock and could kind of offset the defensive, their defensive dominance, they would profile to as a much different team to me. But they just are so much more vulnerable to me in really any spot, even against these shitty ass Steelers, just because of the fact that they offensively don't have any bread and butter that they could lean on. If they had Joe Mixon, maybe it would be different. Or if they had a more fortified
even Chubb
offensive
back.
line. Yeah, Chubb was looking rough, but I love that it was Woody and Chubb. That's just so perfect. Such a perfect combination of backfield. You want the Woody or you want the Chubb. I don't know, man. I just feel like the Steelers are gonna win this game, and
Wow.
fucking and everybody,
We
and
gotta
it's
we
gonna
gotta
be
hear
it's
about
gonna be the
fucking.
Aaron Rodgers still
Oh,
has it, and I'm gonna be disgusted by
Wow.
it. But I could see it happening only because I don't know, man. I don't feel confident in this Texans team from an offensive standpoint to be able to, with no running game. Because, like, when have we seen the Steelers really get embarrassed on defense this season? It's been when they got the ball run down their throat the first half against the Ravens and when against the Bills. But aside from that, I got to give Tomlin credit. He's sewn up the passing defense to back to the sort of Steelers traditional bend but don't break. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers and his little noodle arm, but they could probably complete just enough passes to give Chris Boswell an opportunity to keep the game close. I don't know, man. I hate this game. I hate everything about it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Texans crush them and we just get these niggas out of here. I don't want to have to watch them play football again. I will give them credit because at least that Ravens game was an exciting, entertaining game. But that's the
that's
first
great.
exciting and entertaining game they played all year. They've been playing like dog shit, and I just hate watching them. This team, it's a terrible team to watch. But I don't know. I'm nervous
You're not
about, and
excited for
even the
MVS?
Nico Collins. I was at least kind of leaning on Texans. Like I feel like C.J. Stroud, whether he's at his best or he's at his worst, I felt like he still had a pretty reliable connection with Nico Collins, and that doesn't even really seem to be there anymore. I don't know if it's an offensive line issue. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, man. I'm weary about these Texans. Plus, they're not used to playing Monday night. Their playoff games usually happen on Saturdays, so I don't know. I'm nervous about it, but I don't know. I got to take the Steelers. I got to take the 3 points is too much. It started out 2.5. I might have been there laying the 2.5, but I just feel like this is a game that I could see this game ending 13-10. Like it just feels like a game that's gonna be dragged in the mud, in the dirt, low score. I definitely love the under. Is it still 39 or has it dropped? Because I bet the under when it first came out. Because I just expect this to be a very low scoring game. I do not expect I don't expect a ton of points here. So considering that I don't expect a ton of points and I got a team getting a free field goal, I'll take the field goal.
Yeah, the more you were talking, it's kind of like I do feel like it just feels like the Texans play uncomplimentary football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's exactly it. Yeah.
It's like they want to pass the ball, because obviously the most dangerous threats are Nico Collins.
Yeah, that's where they have their best skill player.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but
doesn't
they're
complement their best strength. Yeah, exactly. And you know what else is kind of spooky to me about the Texans? And this, maybe I shouldn't be so consumed by this because this was several weeks ago. But do you remember when they played that game? I think it was a primetime game. I think it was either a Sunday night, a Monday night, or a Thursday night against the Seahawks. And they ended up losing that game. And the one thing that really concerned me, I thought Stingley was a lockdown guy. He really isn't. He's a good corner, but their defense as a whole is great. They don't have a lockdown corner because he was getting devoured by Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now, there's no shame in that. Jackson Smith and Jigba's a great receiver.
And they also don't have a Jackson Smith and Jigba on the Steelers.
They have the guy who was replaced by Jackson Smith and Jigba, essentially. Yeah. I'm not saying that he's going to eat up Stingley, but the other, the one thing they have is DK, and I don't feel confident that Stingley's not going to let him catch a pass. I could see him putting in a little bit of work on Stingley. I've lost a little bit of faith in Stingley individually. I still think the Texans' defense is the best in the league because they have such a dominant pass rush, but the Steelers, how affected are they by a pass rush if Rodgers is getting the ball out in 1 second? I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to talk about this game anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. The only thing I want to think about is the future.
Future.
This future.
Where are the glasses at?
So we got to close out the show with the same way. We got to close out the show and close out the season the same way we opened the season in the preseason, playing the fun game of where's their ass at. But now we know where they're at. Now it's more where they're not at. So, a lot of coach firings, a lot of the teams that didn't make it to the playoffs preparing to move forward. Obviously, the Giants fired their coach. Was that after week 10, week 12, sometime in the second half of the season? So they begun their coaching search a little early. They will be retaining the great Joe Shane. And on the other side of town, the Jets will be retaining, as far as we know, will be retaining both their GM and head coach. Now, we had all the names that came out, and we talked about this a little bit before the start of the show. We had the Black Monday names of the coaches that were immediately fired on Monday, so that kind of got the conversation kick-started as to who's, what positions are available, who's going where. We had, I think, the biggest names that became available initially. We had Stefanski. I don't think I I don't see Raheem Morris being a being a hot head coaching candidate. But I mean, I didn't see it after he got fired the last time. So who knows? This was already his second time. And to be fair to Raheem Morris, I still don't think he's a great coach, but I do have to give him credit for the way that they ended that season because, so many times we've seen teams that find themselves where the Falcons found themselves with like a month or a little over a month left in the season. They tend to just mail it in. And I can't say that about the Falcons. So he did something right there. But
He
anyhow.
did a lot better than a lot of the other names that were fired.
Yeah,
I'll say
for
that.
sure. For sure. But then, of course, later on, after hearing about Stefanski, Raheem Morris, trying to think of who the other Monday, Jonathan Gannon, I think, was a Monday casualty.
Your boy.
My boy, Johnny G. That made me sad. Who was the other Monday casualties?
Pete Carroll.
Carroll, yes, that's right. Raiders, Carroll was out. But then, I mean, I don't think that there were any big surprises Monday. Monday, the only the main surprise I think it wasn't surprising to me, but I think there were a few people who thought that the Falcons, that Raheem had done enough to keep his job. Then later on, the trickle comes out. We have Harbaugh getting fired, which shifts things around a little bit because I think for the first 24 hours, Giants fans were getting themselves all hot and horny for Kevin Stefanski. And then as soon as John Harbaugh lifted his dress up, then, there was a new sexy lady had walked up to the bar. So I'm curious. And then I think the other thing that happened, obviously, I think late this morning or early this afternoon, was the Miami Dolphins after announcing that they were going to have Mike McDaniel assist them with the GM replacement search.
Yeah.
They didn't officially hire a GM yet, did they? They just announced that he was going to be helping them with the search, and then they say, you know what, you can go fucking search yourself, buddy. And they kicked Mike McDaniel out, so he got fired. And to me, that only means one thing: that they're getting Harbaugh. That's what that means to me. That's how I'm interpreting that whole thing. If it wasn't already enough that there's the whole Michigan connection there, if there wasn't already enough evidence there that Dolphins ownership got in trouble in the past for trying to hire Jim Harbaugh while they had a coach, now they, I guess, are trying to make up for that mistake by making sure they fire their coach before pursuing a different Harbaugh. But to me, it all signs point to a little Michigan, Miami, Wolverine, Dolphin collabo over there, and I feel like that's where we're gonna see Harbaugh. But I assume I have not spoken to you about the Giants representation, but I would assume that Harbaugh, from everything I've heard thus far, he seemed to be the Giants' number one choice as to who they wanted to be their next head coach. Once he was announced, I think going into it, there were people kind of kicking around Stefanski. Is it good? Is it not? Then I think Harbaugh shot up to the top of the list. Where are you with Harbaugh? Where are you with the coaches in general? Do you want Harbaugh? Do you think you still have a chance at Harbaugh? Are you like me, assuming he's going to be with the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Or how do you feel about Stefanski? Yeah, go for it.
I got along when the Dolphins made that firing. I got along because does that mean that they know something that we don't? You know what I mean? Like, do they have something?
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah,
because you can't go from like he's coming back. He's
exactly. He's
gonna
help. He's
like,
gonna help find my GM, and then hold on. But John might want to be my GM, and he might want to pick my GM. That's the only leverage we got, because the Giants still got their GM, unless John goes over there and says, hey, I'm willing to come over here. You just got to get rid of that guy. He'll be a New York
Liam
hero.
Cohen.
But I believe that I believe in that though. I just don't know how strong it is. I don't know if they did that just to kind of like the Jets did a few years ago, where to just play that game to try to get um the guy they want over there. So hopefully it's that. Hopefully it's not nothing more than that because I do want John Harbaugh as a Giants head coach. I think out of everybody that's out there, he's the culture guy, you know, and I think that's what we're lacking is culture. So um, I would like him. I would like Flores, but I know he's not coming here because he's literally suing us. Um, he's a
Well, he's
Giant,
suing the
so
league. He's suing the Giants specifically.
I think there was like something with him
Oh no, 'cause that
and
that was because
Brian
of Belichick.
Belichick, yeah, some
Yeah,
shit.
Well,
that
that was
he
the other thing. I
text.
saw somebody has said. I saw somebody put. They weren't like reporting it, but I think they were kicking around the idea of. I forget who. Well, I forget what team it was, but they were saying that they could see Brian Flores head coach and
It was the Raiders.
Oh,
Brian
Raiders,
Dable OC.
yeah, yeah, yo, I thought about that. I was like, that's so fucking funny
But
because of that
isn't
whole
Brian
Belichick shit.
Dable doesn't isn't Brian Flores suing the league because Belichick confused him with Brian
Yeah,
Dable?
yeah,
Isn't that how
Yeah,
that
exactly.
but
whole
I'm
thing
saying
came
they
about?
That's
were,
the yep,
but they
yep,
were friends. It's
yeah.
just that like that's why they
They
were
wait,
like he
wait,
got
wait,
turned.
the key word used there is were.
Well,
Are
I
they
don't know
still
if they still
friends?
are.
You confuse if I'm Brian Flores and you confuse me with Brian Dable, I can't fuck with Brian Dable no more.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nah, that's iffy. But hey, I can see it happen though. I can see it happening. But yeah, I would like Flores, but he's not coming here. There and you know what gave
Wait,
it
but
away
why do
to
you say
me?
that?
You know
Because of
what
the
gave it?
suit?
I'll tell you what. I think they already interviewed
Stefanski.
yeah, and they didn't they interview the guy from the Falcons
Raheem Morris? Did
Mo-
they? I don't know.
Raheem?
That I didn't know.
I
I
think
did hear about. I heard about Stefanski that they had dinner and they were
yeah,
breakfast and lunch and dinner. They had like 3 meals. But
yeah. And then I feel like they just brought in Raheem just Morris just to because that's what they get just to get a
No, they already did
yeah
the
that's what
Rooney Rule with Kafka because he's
oh
Puerto Rican, so
oh
that counts.
God, get out of here.
oh,
He's as
speaking
much
of that was the one thing that broke my heart when Mike McDaniel got fired. I hate to see a black man lose his job. But go ahead.
Yeah.
but yeah man I don't know I feel like the two guys I want um one is obviously John Harbaugh, and the other one is Flores. I don't think Flores is a legitimate candidate for the New York Giants.
Yeah, but you that's
But
why are you saying that? Because of the suit?
just just
Yeah,
because
you're
of the
saying, but
suit, just
Or
but
because
because of
if
they're
the
that's the case,
because
he
of the
wouldn't go anywhere.
because of the suit?
the suit, yeah. And they already did their
His skin
black
suit that
man,
he
and
wears.
I think they already did their black man interview already, so they don't have to do another one. So they just get the one Raheem Morris, and they're like, look, hey, we gave him a fair shot.
It'd be
Um,
funny if they did their version of the Rooney Rule compliance would be, yeah, we interviewed Mike Kafka, he's Puerto Rican, and we
right.
also interviewed Mike McDaniel, he's black, so we're good.
That would be fire. That would be fire.
Yo, the
Yo, we're
49ers getting
good. Yo, we're
49ers getting two
good.
third round draft picks because
Amazing.
he got hired is fucking crazy.
That's the slickest move I think that has ever been pulled off
Goodness
by like
gracious.
a
Facts.
organization in terms of asset collecting. That was crazy.
And you can't push back on that because that would be insensitive as well. You
Then,
know
yeah,
what I'm
then you're
saying?
racist. Then you're being racist. How dare you say Mike McDaniel's
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
other than black?
He's
Right,
just
right.
helping black people.
But yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. You know
Will you
who
be
I
happy
would?
with Stefanski? You haven't said anything about Stefanski. You
I
said you're
don't know.
not getting
I
Flores, so that's out.
yeah, I would. I know we're not gonna get Salah. Even I would give Salah a
But
shot.
why do you keep saying all this? I know we're not gonna get. Why are you saying
It
that?
just doesn't. It just doesn't feel like something that we're gonna do. Like I don't know. I'm
No,
speaking
almost like
from.
what I said with Daniel Jones and going to the Jets. No,
I guess I'm just speaking from being under this organization for so long and kind of feeling like I understand how they think. I
So
don't
you
know,
think they're gonna
maybe.
hire Raheem Morris?
No, I think that they're gonna. I think they're gonna go for Harbaugh, and if not, they're gonna go Stefanski. I think that's what's
Okay.
gonna happen. Um, I'm not. I don't know how to feel about Stefanski. I was actually gonna ask you guys. I mean, I don't love him. I don't like. There's nothing about him that really makes me feel that he was the reason
Two-time
why
coach
that
of the
team
year.
was. I know, but look, so was Dable. So what the fuck, like, um, but I don't know. I'm not crazy about Stefanski. Um, I guess it would be like all the people I want. Like I said, I would give Salah a shot. I'll give Flores a shot.
I
But
think
I
you're
feel
getting
like we're
too
gonna.
far from the mic now. Now you're too far away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would. The people that I want are out. I think so. The only I could see them going Stefanski. I could see them doing something, um, something of that nature. But my thing is, what if these good coaches don't want to be under Joe Shane? What if they like? You know what? I'd rather go somewhere where there's no GM or where I know the GM or something like that nature.
Because
Now,
how many
but
of the
go ahead.
how many of the openings also have a GM opening? Because I know obviously the Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons, and I feel like the Falcons is the hot spot too, as far as roster,
Mm,
roster and dome.
Do
And then
do the
Miami.
Raiders
That's it,
have a
right?
GM?
yeah, Spytech. That's
They didn't
Brady's
fire him.
boy. No.
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
So yeah, so I guess it's just the Falcons and the Dolphins
And the Dolphins.
because the
Yeah.
Browns kept Andrew Berry.
Hmm.
As crazy as that seems, I mean, he is like literally a
Cardinals.
shield. Like he might as well just stand in front of
Right.
Haslam wherever he
Anybody.
goes because he's just there because he's the guy who's willing to sit up in front of the cameras, in front of the mic, like a total fucking doof when he forces him to do these things that we all can see are doofy.
Right.
Like when he did the whole Deshaun Watson thing, he was willing to stand up there and look like a fool.
That
And the
was
same thing with
terrible.
all the clumsy Shador Sanders shit. He's willing to sit up there and lie to the cameras.
Hmm.
So I think that's why they kept him.
Yeah. But
So
But if you
you're
listen to
not very excited about any of this. I think it sounds to me like you're ultimately just upset about Joe Shane staying. But here's the thing that I was gonna
no.
ask you:
Right.
Joe Shane, if he's to what degree do we think that if, like, for instance, if they're having conversations with Harbaugh right now, I have to assume that if the difference between Harbaugh choosing the Giants and choosing the Dolphins comes down to Joe Shane is there, I have to assume that even if they're not going to tell him we're going to fire Joe, even if they're not going to fire Joe Shane for him, I have to imagine that they're going to, that they would be willing to, if they want John Harbaugh bad, I would have to assume that they would be willing to put him under Harbaugh and he could stay on in his role as
The
GM,
cap
but
stuff.
he's answering to Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I have to assume that they would be willing to do that for a candidate that they really want. I have to assume the Giants would not let a candidate that they really want go elsewhere because of the structure. Am I wrong to assume that?
No. I think that you're right to assume that, but at some point, it's like he's still there. Like the GM is still a GM that I might not know or might not be a fan of is still there. I don't know. That might
I, I
that
feel
might
like
sway him. And we're missing like the 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 potential of one of these Bills or Eagles or um one of these openings after the week a wild card loss. They could get out of there and you know and get fired, and John Harbaugh might want to go to the Bills or might want to go to the Eagles, even though I don't see the Eagles doing it. But I mean, they're not crazy happy with how the Eagles been running this year. So that's another obstacle that could come in between the Giants and John Harbaugh too. But um, I don't
So
know,
there's
man.
one
It's
last name that we haven't brought up that I got to be the one to do it, I guess.
good.
Bill Belichick.
I don't know. I heard he was going to the Raiders for as a DC. It's gonna be
Where did you hear
Brian
that?
Who?
OC
Yeah, yeah. I wanna hear where you heard this.
right here.
Right.
Your voice, yeah, the voices in your head don't count.
He just
No,
worded it
because
like that.
all kidding
Because they're
aside,
building a super team over there. They're getting Flores as the head coach. They're getting Brian
a
as the
super
OC.
coaching staff, it sounds like.
Right, that's what I mean.
That'd
Nah,
be
I was just
sick.
fucking around, but
But I'm
that would be
curious
crazy. But
because I could see if they wanted to go the Belichick route, I could see him being like, okay, I'm gonna come and Shane will work for me. I'm not gonna work for Shane. And I could see the Mara and being like, all right, you got it. I just think that I mean
I
I
don't
bring the
see- I
name up because all kidding aside, I would not be completely shocked to see it. I mean, obviously, his reputation has taken quite a hit. But to be honest with you, his reputation has taken quite a hit. But at the same time, I could very easily make a case that the Falcons should have just hired him instead of Raheem Morris, and we would have never even had to see this nigga coaching UNC, and they wouldn't have had to fire Raheem Morris on Monday.
Right, right. You know what? I haven't really thought of Bill Belichick, but honestly, if I had to go between him and Stefanski, I think I might go Bill Belichick over Stefanski, just because.
Wow, really? That
Just
surprises me. Wow.
You know
okay.
why? I'll tell you. I'll tell
With
you
those
this.
expectations.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you why. Because he's not a pusher. I feel like he's gonna take control of the locker room. Like I do feel that way about Bill Belichick, and I feel like that's kind of what we need. We kind of need that respect level coach. No nonsense kind of guy.
Really? I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I really do. I feel like if Bill Belichick wants in the room or in the locker room, like you don't disrespect Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that way.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I just don't feel like that was the Giants' biggest problem. I don't feel like the Giants' biggest problem was disorder and I just think Brian Dable was not a good coach. But I don't think he wasn't a good coach because he was soft on the players. To be honest with you, I feel the opposite. I feel like he was trying too hard to do the Bill Belichick thing and was trying to be Mr. Tough Guy a little bit too heavy-handed with it. I would assign that to him more than the latter. I just didn't get like there are teams that I have been watching that have been poorly coached that I also think are completely in chaos and disorder and that they have no respect for the coach. But I didn't look at the Giants that way, especially with the way that they played down the stretch, playing hard, winning games down the stretch. I mean, I know that's a big issue for you, but I just found it's interesting to me that you're mad at them for winning games and playing hard throughout the rest of the season, but you also feel like they're a team that needs this, heavy-handed disciplinarian culture coach. I didn't feel like that was their biggest problem, but
Okay, I got you. Just because of I feel like there's even like the Abdul Carter situation, there's a lot of speculation that he was given the green light. He was almost being treated like LT, like a veteran, and he wasn't held accountable. And then as soon as Dable goes, this guy's holding him accountable. Now you see a better side of Abdul Carter. I just feel like a dude like Bill Belichick would be more respected, and I feel like Stefanski, as far as like the way he treated Sanders, for me as a football player, I would be like I don't know. I'll probably question him. Yeah, I hated the way he treated him.
Do you think that Stefanski brings any value as an offensive mind? Because I think that's the only thing that makes me surprised to hear you say Belichick. Because as much as I am not a Stefanski guy, if you told me I had to pick one of those two guys to be the head coach of my second year hopefully franchise quarterback, I'd be very nervous about old ass Bill Belichick here and his last days. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't have a ton of respect for Stefanski as an offensive coach either, so I
yeah, me
don't really
neither.
care either way. But there are many
Right.
people who think that he's this offensive genius,
Yeah.
and I feel like if that is even remotely true, I would prefer him overseeing the development of my young quarterback.
I'm glad you brought that up, man, because it's like you want. It's like you want to think offense-minded coach because of the young quarterback, and and that's what the rule is. Get an offensive-minded coach for you. I get it, and it's probably true, but we do also have a defense that I feel like should be 1,000 times better, and with the right coach, can be 1,000 times better. Um, and a good OC can be as effective, I think.
But that's my worry with
Especially
Belichick is he's not exactly. I mean, he's the guy that brought us the the OC combination of fucking Patricia and whoever the hell else it was. So that's
yeah,
what
yeah, you're right.
worries me.
And this is gonna sound even crazier, but the, I could see a world where Bill wants to coach the Giants, and Joe Shane might be like, we're your option here. I'm gonna be the GM. You be the coach. We already know Bill Belichick's GM has it as a GM or as a scouter hasn't isn't the greatest. So it could be even a good marriage for the Maras in their mind. Like he's the coach, he's the GM. Things of that nature. But I mean, if you don't get Harbaugh, I think that's a good way to keep the fan base happy. I would think like it's not it's a Hall of Fame coach. It's a no nonsense coach. It's a dare I
You
say a
you think that
culture
the
builder.
fan base would
I
be
don't know if I
happy
could
with
say
that?
that. I think the fan base over. I think so. I
Yeah,
think so.
Interesting.
I
I
think
think if
here,
we
man.
miss on Harbaugh, it'll be a quick way to like hey look like and then there's
I
gonna
get
be some fan base gonna be like some of it's gonna be like all right it's let's see what happens.
it's funny you say that because it feels like that would be a good move if they get turned down by Harbaugh.
Right.
If they don't really have that much interest in Harbaugh and we're gonna go Stefanski, that's one thing. But if like they feel like they're embarrassed and they kind of
Right. That's what I'm
promised
saying. Right.
the Giant, I could see that. Or like Gary Myers went on the radio and suggested maybe Kevin Stefanski doesn't get the job offer that he actually wants, and Harbaugh will get the job, and Stefanski will be the offensive coordinator.
For the Giants?
Yeah,
I
crazy.
just don't. I don't like. I feel like
Yeah, I don't
it's
see
kind of
that.
like I
Yeah,
don't
it's
see
a
Stefan.
ridiculous thing to.
Yeah, I don't respect. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't see the Stefanski like. What's the
Well, because
word?
you can always blame certain things when you come from, like, for example, the same reason that Rob Sala is now a hot candidate. You can blame some of the
Right. The
stuff, or at
organization.
least give the illusion of some of the reason why he failed in a like an organization that was as putrid
Right.
as the ones they came from, which is the main reason why they failed at their previous jobs.
Right. You could
Well,
do
I'm
that.
glad you brought up Rob Sala because that's the perfect segue to the Jets because there's obviously been a lot of conversation about the Jets, the way that they ended the season, Aaron Glenn. And my first thing that I have to say about that is I'm hearing a lot of people saying how terrible Glenn is, how they should fire him. He's just going to get fired next year anyway, et cetera, et cetera. And the people who are making the case that you have to fire Glenn, so many of the things that I'm hearing them say that Glenn does not have, that they want to see the next guy have, Sal already did. And I think a lot of people owe Saleh an apology because when he got fired, and even leading up to his firing, that second season, the second Rodgers season after the Achilles, the season where he actually played when Robert Saleh got fired. There seemed to be this consensus that Robert Saleh was a terrible coach, didn't know what he was doing, and had to be fired. And then he obviously got fired, and then that just continued to sort of be the story and the narrative around what Robert Saleh's time with the Jets was. And I think that that shit was largely driven by people who are not paying attention. Or at least that's just how I feel. Maybe I'm in the minority. But to me, I had a lot of issues with a lot of things that Saleh did as a coach. But when you talk about, I just hear so many of these, I hear Jets fans and even people in the media talking about how the Jets are so desperate for somebody who can change the culture and who guys will play for. How about this? Or that now the Stephen A. Smith rant about how he should suggest that whoever the second overall pick is should go back to college because nobody wants to go to the Jets. And I saw that Connor Rogers said that some of the scouts that he talks to are saying that they don't want their guys to go to the Jets. Robert Saleh turned the Jets into a place people wanted to go to, whether the people who wanted to go there were the right people to go there is another thing. But all of the things that they're talking about how they're just so worried about the Jets are in this state of disarray, nobody wants to go there. You weren't where you are now with Saleh. And everybody's talking about how he was always this bad coach. Yeah, he made a lot of mistakes, but he had the defense playing hard. He had the defense together, and he had the team together. And I feel like he gets no credit for that. And I feel like so many people who are murdering Aaron Glenn and saying all of these things that he can't do and doesn't do are the same people that were killing Robert Saleh. Like he wasn't doing these same things that they want Glenn to show them that he could do.
Yeah.
Am I missing? What am I missing?
No.
Well, because this is the thing. It's like specifically in the case of Aaron Glenn, a lot of fans.
And I will just say the last thing I'll say, and then you can take it. I'm not, and I don't say this is more of a defense of Robert Saleh than it is an endorsement of Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn is terrible, and I don't necessarily disagree with people who think that he should be fired. I'm not an Aaron Glenn apologist or supporter in any way. Go for it.
All right. So, I just think that, like, kind of touching on the subjects that we were talking before we went live. And also going back to for example, like we're going back to the situation with the Giants and Harbaugh. A lot of fans, a lot of people got their hopes up for for Vrabel when when he was available to interview with the Jets or whatever. And obviously, we saw what happened. It was basically just a ploy to put pressure on the Patriots because that's where he wanted to be the whole time. Mm-hmm. And obviously the success on the field, has dictated that Vrabel would have been a good choice. But, all right, having Aaron Glenn and the results not being there and setting it up initially with disappointment because you weren't able to get Vrabel, I think people are always chasing to be right. So, saying that a coach is going to get fired, should be fired, or stinks, you're always going to eventually be right. Especially with Jets fans online and the New York media, and on the radio, all that stuff. It's just to stir up emotion, which obviously Jets fans fall for it hook, line, and sinker every time. But the thing is, it's like, for example, for like the Jets fans that do all that content online.
I love how you talk about Jets fans in third person like you're not one of them.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is I take because I don't have opinions like that. I don't like say, like, I can have an opinion on what's happening or what I want to happen. I'm not going to say, yeah, he should be fired or this guy stinks or he can't get better because I can't opine on stuff that hasn't happened yet. So like, for example, like you'll get people that say, yeah, he should get fired because like you saw how the defense played at the end of the season. Yeah, well, if you're not applying context to who was playing on defense, then obviously it doesn't matter because what you're doing is you're just saying stuff that happened without giving the full context of why it happened.
Wait, so you're
So
making a Darren Glenn defense?
no, 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 no. What I'm saying is that people are always just rooting to be
But
right.
well, let me
Like
ask
for
you.
example,
But what my point was about Salah. Just give me your thoughts on was now looking back the way that Robert Salah's time as Jets coach is largely discussed. Do you think that that is still accurate, or how do you feel about that first?
well, because that's part of like the thing. It's like okay, Robert Sala, it was a place to, he turned it into a place that people wanted to go to, and all the vibes were great. And obviously that changed with the selection of Zach Wilson, and it kind of perked up when they were able to get Aaron Rodgers, and obviously we saw it crashed after, which kind of just shows that the quarterback that you have is what dictates what ends up happening. Robert Sala, I feel like he did a lot of good things. He developed young players. It always seemed like they played, for the most part, played well for him and all that stuff. But I feel like um, Robert Sala also had this thing where he like even when like they panned to him when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, right? And he had that crazy look on his face that was like, holy shit, I'm fucked. And I feel like that the vibes when they're good and all that stuff, great because he's that energy guy. But what he can't hide his emotions. So I feel like the team took a lot of like his ups and downs, right? So that's why you got the like win, against the Eagles, then get blown out the next week. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I feel like the reason why he's getting a lot of praise now is because of the way the whole team is playing. He doesn't have that he doesn't he doesn't have to focus on both sides. He doesn't have to worry about if the offensive side of the ball isn't playing well. He has to figure out what he's going to do on that side. And obviously, having an offense that's well taken care of is going to make him put him in a better place regardless. Um, we haven't seen him be the defensive coordinator in a situation like the Jets where he's the defensive coordinator for a team or defense that's playing well and the offense is not performing. You know what I'm saying? That might flip the
What do you
dynamic.
mean we
So it's
haven't
like,
seen that? That was his entire time with the Jets.
no, no, but he was the head coach. He couldn't just say my side is doing what because he was in charge of the whole team.
Okay.
So it's just I don't know, man. I think
So you
it's
don't. So you agree with the general sentiment of Robert Sala's time with the Jets? It sounds like.
yeah, because I just feel like it ran its course, and there was no time to dig out of it. It's almost like the similar situation with Sam Darnold, where it's like, yeah, people say that, oh yeah, the Jets are crazy for letting him walk out the building and all of that stuff. Yeah, but the same people that are saying that are the same people that were saying that, that he's no good. You know what I'm saying? That he needs to get out. That the Jets need to get rid of him. And conveniently, obviously, they forget that he had three other stops in between them, in between there. But if he had those 3 seasons in the same place, they would have. You know how New York is. They would have. I don't want to say tarred and feathered. Like that level of hatred towards it and that level of vitriol would have been thrown against Sam Darnold. So it's like people want people want to like tout how tough New York is, and we got to do things this way, but they also don't have the patience of uh to to let shit play out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
What's the
that's part of my problem with the whole Robert Saleh thing, because I I believe, while I could understand you saying that the time had come, I don't think that I think that they would have been better off not firing him when they did. I think they would have been
Oh,
better
of
off
course,
letting him stay the
100%.
rest of the season and see how that played out, like you just said with the patience thing. And I just feel like he was not. He's viewed as having done a bad job, and I don't think he did a bad job. I think he made a lot of mistakes. I thought the whole thing with Joe Beningo was nuts. I thought he could have got fired just for that alone. But as far as, I just feel like I hear people talking about him like, oh, he was a joke. Like they talk about him like he was a joke as a coach, and he was like a buffoon. Like he was like he he was like one of these one and done type guys, and I didn't really
No,
get
but
that.
trust me, all of that stuff is going to change as soon as he gets a job for a, let's say he gets a job for like a franchise that's like on the, let's say like the Ravens. He gets a job with the Ravens. Everything that happened with the Jets is going to be blamed on the Jets. None of what happened, of the bad stuff that happened, is going to be put on Robert Saleh. I can guarantee you that.
Okay, so Aaron
I
Glenn,
like that fit.
you were defending Aaron Glenn's the defense's performance towards the end of the
No,
season.
I'm not defending what actually happened. I'm, like I said, I'm defending like me looking up for a team. How deep, and Cheeks, you know how deep I get into like the draft. I know all of these players. I know all of this stuff. They're like I can look it up like in a few minutes, while like if you guys take it over or whatever. The amount of players that I had to, me and my son were like, yo, who the hell is that? That were playing the whole entire game for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks is crazy. Jordan Clark's son. There was two Clarks, and I didn't know who either of them were.
Jordan
Jordan Clark.
Clarkson from the Knicks. I didn't see
They had
that.
him out there.
I didn't see that. That's crazy.
Dean Clark. Yo, they had the players that were out there playing all the snaps. Like I literally don't know who most of them were, and there was a bunch of undrafted free agents, practice squad guys. So it's like,
So was this the
not to
worst
mention the quarterback.
roster ever? Because that's what the statistics say. So was it the worst collection, the least talented defense in the history of football?
I mean, it depends. Like the
No,
players
the
that were
answer is no.
playing.
I can answer
No,
it for you. It
the
was a
players that
rhetorical
were
question.
playing.
The answer is no.
Yeah, but if you look at the players that were playing the last 6 weeks, yes.
No. No, I don't believe that.
Okay. I mean, I'm I'm gonna look up who, like, for example, the last
You
two
can look up
weeks.
whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You're not going to convince me that that what was going on with the Jets was and what Aaron Glenn had going on, and even forget about the last. You're like, yeah, it completely nosedived towards the end of the season. They at no point were the Jets good this year. None, zero on
No, no,
defense.
no,
They
no,
weren't
no.
good on defense when they had Sauce Gardner and Quinton Williams.
But
They
see,
got
that's what
blown
I'm
out by
saying.
the
Like,
Bills what was that, week 3? They got blown out by 20 at home. Like, they getting blown out by 20 points did not just pop up with the Jets the last couple weeks of the year.
yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying like the way that people get to certain opinions.
Okay,
You
but
know what I'm
forget
saying?
about
Like,
that.
okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because they were bad. Because they were bad. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not trying to say that they were bad. I'm just saying, like, what do you expect? Like, when you trot out Brady Cook out there for however many
Yeah, but
weeks it
see,
was.
that's where you lose me. I expect better than that. I do.
I understand, but my point is like, I just feel like they were just You try Brady Cook out there, and everybody knows that you're
I
tanking.
expect better than the worst defense of all time. I expect better than like historic record breaking shit. That's what I expect.
No, I feel you, and I mean, we can't also overlook the fact that they fired the defensive coordinators as well,
We can't
which was a
overlook
good
that
thing.
because of what? Why can't we overlook
No,
that?
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't gonna get any better after they
Why
fired
not?
him
Then
either.
why fire him? It should have gotten better. That, to be honest with you,
Well,
that to me that's a big mark on Glenn because if you're firing this guy before the season ends and you're a defensive coach, this should be because you are in that moment that you fired this DC. You are asserting this is unacceptable. I'm a defensive coach. This is my forte, my expertise. I'm gonna make some change. I'm gonna do something to have this be somewhat representative of professional football. And if it gets worse after that, I can blame you for that.
yeah, I
I'm
know. I
not going
mean,
to
but
give you
that
a pass
also
because you fired the DC. Now it's even more on you than it was before. To me.
no, but I'm just saying that you're also that's also coinciding with Brady Cook being your starter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I'm not. We
it's
haven't even gotten into that yet. I'm just talking about the defensive performance right now. We haven't
yeah,
even
no,
gotten
that's
into
terrible.
the
There's
Brady Cook
nothing.
of it all.
Yeah, there's nothing you can say to that defends what happened. Hopefully he can, get it right, but that's why I'm not an advocate on firing him because like you have to give we're coming off a season like an off season where obviously because Vrabel and Ben Johnson were the top two candidates and they went to two places that drafted quarterbacks 1 and 3 in the previous draft. But we're
Well,
coming off it.
Jets have
But
drafted some
we're
high quarterbacks as well.
no, I'm saying about, but I'm saying with the coach
No, I hear you. I
going
hear
into
you.
place. But but we're talking about Aaron Glenn was one of the top candidates as well, as was Salah when when he ended up
Wait a
taking
minute.
the
Was
Jets.
Aaron Glenn a top candidate? That feels like revisionist history to me. He
No,
was exciting about the Jets because he was a Jet. I don't remember a ton of
no,
people banging down Aaron Glenn's door for a head coaching job. He was as
no,
high of a candidate as Raheem Morris is now.
no. I don't,
That said, that I do not remember Aaron. I remember him being discussed as being potential candidates for a couple of spots, but
Well,
to compare
but
him and his the excitement about Glenn to Salah to me is lost. Salah was to me he was a legit guy that people were talking about. He was like close to if not the number one coaching candidate that off season, and I can't say the same for Glenn.
no. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he was had it not been for those two, because obviously they're gonna take the Vrabel and Ben Johnson were the two guys that everybody was just that everybody would have fired like everybody had them as 1 and 2, you would say, unless there was
Okay,
something
yeah.
that
I
but
personally
I'm
never
just saying
thought
that
Aaron Glenn was going to be a good head coach. I didn't think he was a good DC. I just
I
thought
mean
that it
that's
made
your
sense and huh?
no, I'm saying, like, if you're going off of that, I can't disagree with you. I'm just going like I'm going off like consensus of like stuff that heard when all of this stuff was
Yeah,
going on.
but I just feel like that's clouded. I feel like that's Jets world. I just feel like the greater national conversation about Aaron Glenn's the expectations around Aaron Glenn as a coach. I feel like there were a lot of people who were like, you put it together and okay with the Jets, former Jet, he wants to be there. There was the whole conversation when Salah got fired about nobody's gonna want this job and blah blah blah, and Vrabel's not gonna take it. He's using the Patriots, and then all of a sudden Aaron Glenn came and was like, okay, we have some hope for this. He has some leadership qualities. He's a guy who did it the right way, worked his way up, and all like that was all fun and good and well and fine. But this idea that he was some hot head coaching candidate, that I don't recall. Um, but anyway, if
I do
he
remember.
go ahead, go ahead. No, 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 go ahead.
No, I do remember thinking to myself, and I feel like there was a point in the NFL last year where it was look what that defense normally the Lions defense normally does, and they had a pretty good season that year, and
And it was talked
uh,
about that he was, oh, look at all the injuries. Look what he did with all this with this injured
yeah, yeah,
defense. Yeah, and then
yeah,
they got fucking smoked by Jaden Daniels at home in the playoffs. Just like everybody knew they
right,
would. I mean, he had a lot. He was their DC for a while, and they had
true,
bottom five defenses for a long time. It was just that last year they
yeah,
were okay, but he was never a good DC. And now that
yeah,
doesn't mean that he can't be a good head coach, but I mean, just listen, for my man's sake, I'm rooting for him to be a good coach. Like I'm not
yeah,
rooting against Aaron Glenn. I thought it was a cool story. I just didn't know that this, from a actual X's and O's
right,
coaching standpoint that I expected him to bring a top flight defense to the table.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, my question would be now, because here's the problem with for the Jets. I could understand you want to make the case that you got to give them time, and you don't want to go through the cycle of firing coaches or whatever. And initially, when the season ended, before we knew who was going to be available, my thought was until you present, and this is always my thought when it comes to coaches and quarterbacks and any position, I just feel like people are always in a rush to fire the guy, but they don't have a replacement. And if you don't have a replacement, get the fuck out of my face. I don't care how bad the coach is. I don't care how bad anybody is. You got to have some type of answer.
right,
And I was initially on board with, okay, I mean, there's no better candidate available if you're not going to be getting a highly touted guy like a Ben Johnson or a Mike Vrabel type, then running back with Glenn, what's the difference? But the problem now is if the decision to not fire Glenn opens the door to a potential Harbaugh being in Miami, giving the Jets hell twice a year for the next however many years. Now you're opening the door for Harbaugh to be in Miami. You already got 10 years of Vrabel in New England to look forward to. And God forbid, I mean, Harbaugh could be with the Bills or with Miami. And then we don't know who's going to go with the Bills if they end up firing this guy and they bring in a top head coaching candidate. Then I feel like you've got yourself in a dicey situation. I almost feel like if you could get Harbaugh, and obviously there's no way to know that unless there's some back channeling conversations or something like that, but there's part of me that feels like for the Jets, if you could somehow back channel and know that you could get Harbaugh if you move on from Glenn, I would do it almost just to block him from going to Miami or the Bills.
right, right,
Yeah, but I mean, going back to what you said, like about the discussion when they fired Rob Saleh, there's plenty of situations that he could probably go into that would be looked at as better, as better situations. So
Who?
no, I'm saying like if like okay, they fire Aaron Glenn, you already see what's happening with the telling players to stay in college so that they don't get drafted by the Jets. What there being so many options for John Harbaugh to go to, it would be
No, I'm not saying John Harbaugh's going to want to go to the Jets. That's not what I'm saying.
no, but that's
I
what I'm
said
saying. That
I said if you could somehow back channel it where I'm not saying you fire Aaron Glenn and then start talking to Harbaugh. Hope he wants to come. No, that's stupid. I'm not an idiot. I'm just saying. To me, what it seems like the Dolphins did, I feel like the Jets should have did. I feel like the Dolphins held on to their coach. I don't believe that they didn't have some type of conversation with Harbaugh before they fired Mike McDaniel. I think they put the word out and they gauged the interest, and that's how Mike McDaniel got fired a day after or a couple of days after Black Monday. I'm just saying if the Jets could have positioned themselves similarly, they would have been better off, in my opinion, if they could have done what I assume the Dolphins to have done. Now maybe they don't have those
yeah,
connections, maybe they don't have those
yeah,
back
exactly.
channels,
And he could only
but
be in one place.
huh?
You know what I'm saying? And he can only coach one team. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got the Giants over here thinking that they have a great shot at it. If the Dolphins fired McDaniel because they got some sort of confirmation that he'd be interested in going there, obviously, that puts two places where that's kind of assumed that he's probably going to want to go to. You know, you're not gonna fire your coach and look like a mess, a disaster, knowing that maybe he'd be interested in going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Yeah, I know. But now, do you believe that they reached out to Harbaugh at all? That they tried to do any of that, or
no,
you
I don't.
believe that
I
they're
don't. I
committed
don't.
to Glenn? Because that to me is ultimately the problem. I don't think they're going to get Harbaugh. I'm just kicking around the discussion, but I'm just saying I don't even think that they were proactive in any way.
Yeah.
And
I
that to me
mean,
is a bit the bigger problem than not getting Harbaugh is thinking you don't need Harbaugh and thinking that you're good with Glenn. That to me is a bigger problem than ultimately not getting Harbaugh.
yeah, that's fine. You say that, but also you have to look at like for example in the case of Miami, right? Miami, they went so far to say that he was probably coming back, but also on the other side of that, that's a coach that was already on thin ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like even if you go a different,
And
even
what kind
if
of ice is Aaron Glenn on?
yeah, but he's a 1 year coach. You know what I'm saying? Like
It
they,
don't
it's
matter. So what?
I understand, but you can't. It's like you can't pull the plug on him hoping that you get a Harbaugh, right? If like you have enough with Mike McDaniel, you already seen enough to know that at best he's a candidate. He's already on thin ice, so getting rid of him, even if you end up going a different direction, is fine. But you're gonna get rid of Aaron Glenn and then be stuck with fucking Vance Joseph. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
what
Vance
are you
Joseph
doing?
would be a better head coach than Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, we already saw how it worked out for Vance
And
Joseph.
we
You know
saw
what I'm
how it
saying?
worked out for Aaron Glenn. What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
but yeah, I understand, but it's like we're not applying context to it.
How not? What
You know what I'm
context
saying?
did I leave out?
Okay, so all
I
right, you
painted the
tell me
whole
that.
Aaron Glenn picture. What context did I leave out?
Okay, so if I tell you if Brady Cook is the starter for most of the season, what do you
What
think the
season?
over
This
under
year?
is? Yeah,
What do I think the over under is? I think it's the
yeah.
exact same as it was going into the season with
You
Justin
think
Fields.
the
It was
over
four and a
under?
half. I think it's 4.5. If they would have announced at the beginning of last year, Jets would have announced we're starting Brady
An
Cook to
undrafted
start the
free
year.
agent.
No one's seen him. I think they have a 4.5 over under. Yes. What do you think they're going to
I
be?
don't.
Two and a half? That's unheard
I,
of. This is
yeah.
Vegas. Like live in the real world. They're not gonna give them for an unknown quarterback that we never seen. Like why are we playing like there wasn't? See, this is my problem with the Jet fans. All of a sudden, we're having this revisionist history like this was some throwaway tank season from the jump. And that's not what this was. This was a shitty coaching job that was pivoted to a tank.
I I understand that, but if you take if I just tell you this, right? Last year with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, Garrett Wilson,
Yeah.
they won five games.
Okay.
This year, without any of
Okay,
those
but
for
what?
most
They
of the
won five
season,
games. But what
they
was their
won.
over under? Are we playing the before or are we playing the after? Because they were favored to win the division. Because if you want to talk to me
I
about what would be the over under, that team had expectations.
I understand. My point is what actually happened on the field.
Okay, so what actually happened to Aaron Glenn?
He won 3 games without all of those people that we just mentioned.
Okay, so we're going to say that him winning 3 games without all those guys is okay because the talent is that much less. We're not going to, you want to talk about context. We're not going to add the context of how underperforming that last season was to arrive at 5 wins? Because we
I
can't draw the
understand.
line from the 5 wins last year to the 3 wins this year. If you're talking about context, the context is that 5 wins last year was not representative of what the expectations were.
It was both seasons are terrible. I'm not trying to say that one was better than the other. My point is that it was that's already what like the expectation is one thing. What's actually happening on the field and what's actually um the the structure of the team is another
Uh-huh.
thing.
Okay, but so
So
what
I
is the
just
context that I left out when I say I think Vance Joseph is a better head coach than Aaron Glenn? What context was absent there?
Well, I'm saying
Because you're
that there's
saying
no.
Brady Cook would have had an over under of what, 2.5 games? What does that have to do with
I,
Vance
I
Joseph
I don't know.
and Aaron
Do
Glenn?
you think that Vance Joseph would have had a better? That's all I can say. Like I can ask you, do you think Vance Joseph would have won more games with the roster that has been presented?
Yes. Are we talking about just swapping out and starting out
Yeah.
the season with Vance Joseph having Vance Joseph who has head coaching experience? We're swapping him in and we're taking out Glenn. That's what you're asking me? And you're asking
Yes.
me and I'm telling you
How
I
many
think Vance
games?
Joseph could have won more games and that's crazy.
No, 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 no. I'm just asking you. What do you think? How many games do you think they win?
I don't know how many more games they win. I think they could have won that Broncos game that Aaron Glenn pretty much single-handedly threw away. And I think that even if they don't win any more games, it wasn't even about the fact that the Jets lost games. It was about the way that they looked like they looked so extremely poorly coached that they didn't have a chance in any of the games. There's a difference. There's a difference between, yeah, they won 2 more games last year, but they were, even in the games that they lost, they weren't getting completely blown out the way that they were in this season. And yes, obviously there was more talent last year than there was this year. But my point is that the level of talent was not enough for me to justify the way that they looked in those last few games. To me, I have to assign that to the coach as well. I mean, you
I
got
mean
people having conversations about they would lose to Indiana. I mean, that's where they find
ridiculous.
themselves.
I mean,
I
okay.
mean, you have and that's like NFL analysts saying this.
Yeah, and I
Like,
mean, because of a lot of the players that are on the field probably couldn't even play for Indiana.
well, I don't know about that. See, that's where I think you take it too far.
I mean,
I mean, I don't even agree that Indiana. I always feel like it's disrespectful. People love to do that, where the worst professional team, they like to try to pit them against the best college team. I think that that's disrespectful. I think the worst NFL pros are still better in terms of just physical stature alone than a college team. It's too oversaturated. I don't think you could put together a college team that could beat the worst NFL team, because at the end of the day, the worst NFL team is still the best of the college guys. But that's not even really the point I'm trying to make. I just don't. I'm just saying this idea that Aaron Glenn deserves an excuse or a pass or context because, oh, but look at the roster. I just don't buy that. I think that carries you only but so far, and it doesn't carry you nearly as far as bad as they were.
no, I feel you. I'm not saying that he's a good coach. My point is they fire him and they're not getting a good coach, in my opinions.
Okay, that's that. I mean, that's fair. I don't know, man. It was looking scary, man. It was looking scary, and it was looking like I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't get that. I was at that Dolphins game, brother. I can't get that shit out of my head. That it was traumatizing watching that shit. Watching them go down 21-0 in multiple games over and over, and just like not even competing. Like, because that's the thing is, like, I could look at I could watch the game and I could tell, okay, this team they're trying, they have a strategy, they just don't have the physical talent on the team. That's not what I was seeing with the Jets. Like, yes, they did not have the physical talent on the team, but there was nothing redeeming about the preparation or the game plan at all. Like, I've seen teams that are just completely overmatched from a talent standpoint with a coaching game plan to at least make a game representative. It just seemed like they just had they outdid their lack of physical talent.
No, can't disagree with you because
And I think that
that's what happens. So
I think that the whole they never got an interception thing is just so overrated. People love to take that flag and wave it around and dance with it, and I just feel like I could give a shit about interceptions. I mean, yes, it is very bizarre that they didn't have an interception, and to a certain degree, it is representative of bad defense. But if they would have gotten an interception off of Mitch Trubisky in that last game, it wouldn't have made their defense any better. Like I don't know why
They would have
people
made him.
just
They would have made more jokes.
yeah, that whole they didn't get an interception thing I think is stupid. I think there's and the thing is there's not to be fucked up, but there's any number of insane stats attached to this Jets season that you could point to that I feel like are more directly representative of what they were.
Yeah,
The interception one to me means
every
nothing.
tight end and running back being able to score a touchdown. If you picked anytime touchdown for a wide receiver, no, not a wide receiver, a tight end or a running back, trust me, it was going to happen. You had good money. Like I picked Hunter Henry 2 weeks ago, and I messed up because it was the other tight end that scored the touchdown.
Mo Alley Cox.
That was my only. No, well,
No,
him too.
Mercedes Lewis.
No.
No, isn't he back with the Jags? Mercedes Lewis.
Who knows?
I think he's back
Oh,
there
he's
kicking
It's
around.
always somewhere.
All right, so last thing I'll ask you about the Jets. They got to make some changes, right? I think that they should. I think that they should bring in whether because obviously they haven't hired a DC, right?
No.
And they haven't fired Engstrand, right?
No. They need to get him help.
Get him help, you said?
Yeah, like quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
Coach.
That was the like I was gonna say I think whether they fill the DC slot or personal preference, I think that they should get help. If you're not gonna fire the OC, get him some help. Get him somebody with some experience, because that's the other thing that makes me nervous about that Aaron Glenn thing. Because I honestly think that like as much as I love Mike Tomlin, I don't love him because I think he's this genius coach. I think Aaron Glenn could be Mike Tomlin. Like, I feel like he has some of that kind of old school leadership style in him that with the right staff and the right structure and the right roster composition can be successful. But my only issue is that once he's leaning on his own football acumen and he doesn't have support from like other competent football people, that's when I feel like it's going to fall apart. But I feel like if he had a representative OC, a representative DC, and he was there doing his whole, don't let go of the rope and doing like, I feel like there's a lot of very similar Tomlin-esque type of qualities to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what he tried to do with Steve Wilkes, and clearly it failed miserably. But
Well, don't disrespect my guy Steve Wilkos, because his show was great. I mean, he got kind of jerked because people never fully embraced him because he wasn't with Jerry Springer anymore. But I thought that he tried to do a different type of show, more of like trying to bring the fan. It was almost like Jerry Springer mixed with Dr. Phil a little bit. So I can't hate on my man Steve
I agree.
Wilkos.
I agree.
I think he's got it. Hey, does he get another job?
no,
I think the answer is yes, because the answer is always yes to does Steve Wilkes get another job? Because he always has another job.
Steve Wilkes goes to the unemployment line.
I think he might be the Giants the Giants DC next year.
Oh shit.
All right, so we'll finish it out. Let's go prediction. What if any changes happen with both the Jets and the Giants next year?
Raheem Morris as the defensive coordinator,
Of
Wow.
and
The Jets.
the Jets.
of the Jets, really? Okay.
The-
Is there a
the
relationship
Jersey
between
guy?
him and Aaron Glenn, other than they're both brothers
Nah, I'd have to look
and
into
both
it. I don't
former defensive backs?
That's a brotherhood. No brother.
Double.
Okay, so
Double
Raheem Morris, you think so? Interesting. Okay.
Wow.
That would actually be kind of funny if they go from if Old Brick goes from the Jets to being the DC of the Falcons under Raheem Morris, and then he goes to the Jets and
Back as a
replaces
linebackers
Old Brick's
coach?
old role. Okay, so that's the only change with nothing offensive.
Yeah, quarterback coach. I think they add in there somewhere,
Oh, the running
or an
back coach is not
advisor.
getting it done for you.
No, not for the quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know
Hey,
what the hell they were thinking with that.
Justin Fields will figure he's a running back. We'll get him.
That's another thing
I
about Aaron Glenn, which I hesitate to use that. I use that against Aaron Glenn because I had hopes for Justin Fields,
Yeah.
but I just feel like the reasoning behind the Justin Fields fade, oh, he was really hard to game plan for. That just that did not age well. That
mm,
that that explanation.
that's
Yeah.
probably just
Right.
nonsense.
And Giants?
Um, I mean,
Well, no,
if
I
they
wanted
get
to know
the
what Flex thinks of the Giants first.
oh, I'm sorry.
Giants. I think now it's either Stefanski or McCarthy. They're
Oh, I
probably
forgot about
well,
McCarthy.
yeah, it's right. But we also don't know if something happens with the Bills, and I feel like McDermott would be a very Giants, and it would obviously go perfect if he were to get fired there. If they, maybe if
Yeah,
they,
they should.
Their
If he
OC
gets
is a
fired,
candidate too. I think
that
their
would be
OC, the
sick
Bills.
if they brought McDermott for as head coach and he
Oh my
hired
god,
Dable as the OC. Could you imagine?
mm,
Bring him back. That would be
that'd
fire.
be crazy.
Now I want
Nah,
that to
they'll
happen.
hate it. Shane and they both and Shane will probably fight if they see each other.
Okay, so and you, what do you think first with the Jets and then with the Giants?
Man, I feel like I gotta block Flex because I want to be honest, and I don't want him to be like you're just a hater. Um,
yeah.
but I'm out on Glenn, bro. I'm completely out on Glenn. I mean, it might not be fair, but it just, I mean, what are we saying now that he tanked at the end just to, whatever. I guess maybe he did, but
Are you just mad that he
no, I'm
wasn't the
not mad.
Giants coach? Are you just mad he wasn't the Giants coach so that he would lose that last game?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But I don't know, man.
Don't
I'm
get me
out on
started
him.
on this
I
tanking.
gave him. I know, and it's two, and might be a little, might be
No,
a
we'll do it
topic for
next
next
time.
week. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't know, man. I gave him so many opportunities. I thought after, even after the trades, I'm like, okay, he felt it necessary. We're gonna see a little more fight, and we might have seen fight for like 2 weeks, and then after that, it was back to the other thing.
yeah,
But
man. But
it could be all personnel. I know what you're gonna say. It could be all the personnel. I understand, but I mean, he's gonna get another chance, so we're gonna give him another chance regardless. I I don't see it being a positive next year for him. I don't, but
but
hopefully it
just
is.
to, real quick, just to highlight how like it just encapsulates the whole situation, right? Like Sauce Gardner got traded to the Colts, right?
Mhm.
Daniel Jones got hurt. They went from the best team in the AFC to winning one game after that,
Right.
and it's like that kind of
Yo, speaking
highlights
of that,
how different.
do you know that they lost every single game after the Carly Ursay shirt?
I didn't notice. I didn't notice. I think I did pick her. I pick her. I picked them that week.
He did.
Yeah, I was
But
looking back. That was the exact. It was during the bye week, and they didn't win a game after that.
yeah, but see, I'm saying that just I know obviously there's more we're talking about context. There's more context to that, but just think about like this is in real time. You going from Daniel Jones, which let's be honest, isn't you know something to write home about, even though he was playing at that level at the moment,
Hmm.
to go downgrading to just a backup, and we see what happens. So it's like
You're right.
that
No,
that
Yeah, but I don't
that's the
even
sort of thing.
see. I don't agree with that either. First of all, I don't think that I don't know that Daniel Jones would have won those games. I think
I
some of
understand.
them were
I'm saying there's
scheduling.
context to that as well.
yeah.
I'm just saying like it kind of like that example is so blatant that you know what I'm saying. It's just you can point to it like people who like I'm doing now, like oh you have a QB 8-1, you don't have a QB 1-8. You know what I'm saying? Is that
Yeah.
it just makes it easy to like point to.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, I'm not hung up on the record. It's not about losing for me.
I
If the
feel you.
Jets would have won, if the Jets would have lost zero, the Jets could have went 0-17. Um, and I could put together a 0-17 season for the Jets that would make me feel better about Glenn than what happened.
No, I got you.
Yeah, but we'll see. It was only 1 year. So
And
next year we'll give him a
but you know what,
the
the one thing I
Giants.
feel about Glenn, I feel like they should, well, whatever. I don't want to keep going in circles. But I was just gonna say, I feel like they should commit to him for real. Like,
Put a ring on it.
I just, what will make me upset, because I keep, yeah, put a ring on. I keep hearing people say, oh, well, they're just gonna fire him next year anyway. He's not gonna make it out of the first couple of, if they start off the season next year, 1-7, he's gonna get fired in the middle of the year because that's what Woody does. And like, I don't know that to be true. I've heard it a couple of people have that take. And to me, as much as I feel like it's justified to fire Aaron Glenn now, if that's what they end up doing, I feel like it's even worse.
Yeah, I feel you. Because had they fired Salah before going into last year, let's say you get Mike McDonald or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Like you're making yourself look like a disaster instead of like being able to sell like, oh, we have Aaron Rodgers coming back, but that you try to run it back, it doesn't work out. You fire him, you look like a disaster. Then you have all of this other stuff looming overhead. So it's like it does make it worse. Like if you're already teetering, like going back to the thin ice, if you're already on thin ice, just do it.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna give him time, give him time. Don't give him another 6 games. That makes no sense. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that would
saying?
be
Like, if it's gonna
stupid.
be
That
give
would be
him
stupid.
time, then commit to giving him time. Not, okay,
Right.
we're
I
gonna give him
agree.
time, and we give him time means we're gonna give him the off season, and then if he gets off to a bad start, we're gonna move on. Like that, I feel like is a
I agree.
disaster.
I agree.
But
You got to
so
give him the
you
whole
think
year.
so? You're out on Glenn. What do you expect him to make any changes? Obviously, they'll hire a
Um,
DC, but
right.
I hadn't
Um,
heard Raheem Morris. That's interesting. I think he'd be good as a
I would like
DC
that.
there.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
so
New
it's
too.
a
Jersey too,
shame
man.
because I feel like I would have loved to see Raheem Morris be DC if they still had Sauce Gardner.
Mm. Yeah, I kind of like that too. But
And last but not least, the Giants.
I mean, what can I really say, man? I mean, it's all. I feel like it's all about the coaching now. We know what we're
Well, yeah,
gonna
but
get
who
out
do
of.
you? Okay, so who do you hope for? Who do you expect? And yeah, I guess that's it. What do you Okay, number one top hope, would it be fire Shane and get Harbaugh? Is that top of the Christmas list?
Yeah, that'll make the hardball thing that'll be just like I could see the fucking newspaper hardball freaking beheading of the freaking Joe
How
Shane
about he's
freaking head, and
playing
he's like the
hardball?
savior.
How about he's a hardball, like
Yeah,
my
he's a
man Omar?
hardball. Ooh, yeah, Omar. You're right. But no, it would be him. Just him coming to the just being the coach would be, I think, the best scenario that I can imagine. And then if he does take Shane out, but I'm almost married. I'm kind of married to Shane coming back for another year, so that doesn't really affect me. If you get a real coach, a respected coach that's gonna put him in his place, when he gets out of the pocket or
All right, so
whatever,
top
I'm
three
cool. I'm cool with that.
coaches you would want.
Me, I'm gonna stick to what I said. I'll say Flores, even though I don't see it, and I like Salah, man. I would love to see Salah as to,
Salah, could you imagine?
I know he
I don't
wouldn't,
think
but
he would come
I
back to
And
New
then
York.
bring back no, maybe he's still got his house, housing
yeah,
market.
yeah. I wouldn't mind to see
Bring
Salah,
Aaron
man. I
Rodgers back.
always I feel certain to which how you everything. I agreed to almost everything you said about Salah. I thought he didn't get a fair shake. I thought once he got fired, shit went down the toilet because he was the best coach on the team, and the team respected him. And he's a respect. I feel like he has that swag of respect and things of that nature, which is what I really want in my locker room. Is that guy that I like. I don't want to feel like I could beat up my coach.
So
And if I
Stefanski's
can,
at the bottom of the list, sounds like, or is he maybe not even on the
yeah,
list?
I
It sounds
haven't
like
gone
you want a
past three.
defensive coach.
It's not that I do. It's just it's the ones that are out there, the ones that I kind of respect. You
Yeah,
know, it's
you're
like in the
fucking old
locker
school. I
room.
love it.
Yeah, I'm an old school guy. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, my brothers. I gotta go upstairs, kids.
What do you think, man?
You know how that go.
I
Uh
know how
oh,
that goes.
the services is needed.
That was a long end of the season special. Until
To
next
be
week,
continued.
hopefully the wild card is super and wild,
Yeah.
Holla.
and the stream is dead.
Woo.
All right, fellas.
Yo, be easy.
All right.
Salute.